a sacrifice seduced for the altar of your vanity. A jealous, hungry God, craving praises of profanity. With bedroom dark and dine, and a deep mouth stained with wine, it drinks its fill. It was your mothers, not your brothers, that agreed to feed you poison. This egregious lack of choice indeed seemed fit to join your voice in, with lies disguised as prizes of reason and wisdom, with briberies of finery to weaken any criticism. Can the fly invade the blossom that devours it? A mouth that lies in wait for a gift of life to shower it.
All right, guys, we are back. What session is this? Is it 89 or is it 90? Session 89.
Are you planning something special for session 100?
I haven't got that far ahead because I don't know where we'll be. If you guys had an idea, I would love to hear it.
But session 100 will be like in 5 months.
Yeah, that'd be a few
probably
months.
more than 5 months. Yeah. Now I think by that point we might be in some weird places. I think.
Well,
And how quickly we progress the story.
Yeah, but it'll also creep up on us without warning, almost. But it'll come a lot quickly than we expect.
Maybe for the session 100 we can do some really crazy stuff you don't really do with Vampire the Masquerade.
yeah.
Like
Oh,
fourth
gee,
generation vampires, against army of Bala or something like that.
that always ends bad.
Yeah,
We
non-canon
could do
game,
something
do
really
whatever you
crazy.
want.
Or we
Yeah,
could,
pretty much.
yeah. Or we could do something really crazy and encounter some fae.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. You've already done that technically.
That's true.
Yeah, given my expressed hatred for the Kiasid and all things related to it, you imagine letting Albana get a hold of that kind of power?
Oh, perfection. Perfection.
Yep. All right. It is springtime in Rome. Many of the lower areas are flooded. It happens quite often. The mosquitoes are back, which means the annual wave of sicknesses with them coming back.
Oh, not again.
After the assassination of Marcus Livius Drusus, the city broke out in riots almost immediately. Many private forces were deployed to break up the riots. It's incredibly tense inside the city. There's a potential for violence everywhere you go. The Aventine Hill especially is a focal point because it is the home of many foreigners inside the walls of Rome. Except for the Temple of Mars near the Circus Flaminius. The Asculus, which are a tribe of people, have taken the plaza of the Temple of Mars and barricaded themselves inside. They've said they will completely defile the temple by starving to death inside. So, yeah, that is a real thing that is happening right now. In the alleys, streets, tunnels, the insulae, and the like, all of the hucksters, the charlatans, the would-be magicians are out selling cures and protections. Of course, the vast majority of them are fake, just taking advantage of people's desperation. There are even the usual crop of wise women and grandfathers trying to sell home remedies. It's been 3 nights since Hat has disappeared. The first night, that didn't really do much. Nobody rose any flags. After the second night, when she didn't return, everyone began to grow very concerned. By the end of the third night, there's been some serious worry going on here. So I would like to know, what are you going to do? That's where we're going to open. What are you guys going to do?
Let's ask around the cult first. Maybe she did tell someone.
Yeah, let's meet up in the cult haven together. I will be on my way. I guess I will be summoning Het. I can make the roll. It's not going to be relevant, but I can still make it.
If you like.
This is just an extra feeling.
If you get a high result, then you know that something's definitely wrong when she doesn't come.
Yeah. What was the roll for the summon? I need to check that quickly. And I will assume that since the start of our relationship, at some point I would have used presence on my coterie at some point for awe or whatever, you know.
Charisma plus subterfuge.
Thank you.
Difficulty, the base difficulty is 5, it increases to 7, so the vampire only met the subject briefly.
You said charisma plus subterfuge.
Yes, base difficulty was 5.
Okay, I think if you used presence, it should be 4.
Yes. And to use spell size unsuccessful, it actually increases the difficulty.
Okay, so yeah, I will summon Het. I don't really know if someone is successful or not. I'm just going to assume that it is, and move on with my, life and go to the coterie haven.
Yeah, right. I mean, you don't know as a character. You don't know if it's successful. You just know you put it out.
Yeah. My character probably knows the fact if you use presence before, it's kind of easier, it's more accurate, but it is, he doesn't know if he succeeded nonetheless, but he just knows that it's supposed to be more accurate if you used presence before on the same person. So he just assumes it's a success in character, even if he doesn't know, and meets with the coterie.
Hat's ghouls, each of the 3 of them are probably getting really nervous by this point.
Your dog as well, right?
The crossbowman ghoul is probably trying to keep the dog somewhat calm. Yeah, and if it's just is looking around and something must have happened. There's no way Mistress would be taking so long.
She has not said anything to either of you.
Do you have any ideas where she might have went?
She said she was I believe she was going out to hunt when we last saw her.
Excellent. Why won't you tell us where your mistress usually goes out to hunt?
Yes, and perhaps also any other places she might visit regularly, if not semi-regularly.
I didn't know the specific on this occasion, but she often drops by ongoing parties and collects people from there.
Does she have a favorite place that she likes to visit for this kind of entertainment?
Chris, I believe we established that there was like a specific district that she tends to hang around with. That was like, on the edge of like, not so highbrow as to cause as to draw attention, but also not like, out and out slums. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
so you avoided the southern part of the city, which was the hill on the southern part of the city is the Beverly Hills of Rome, extremely rich area. And the Capitoline Hill is the Prince's territory, so you definitely don't go there. And of course, the Palatine Hill is where all of the politicians and stuff live, and you definitely don't go there. So that's 3 of the 7 major areas knocked off the list immediately.
So we can probably narrow it down by recalling who has hunting territory where when it comes to canine.
I will be right back.
Okay.
Do we know how long a kindred's scent linger in a given place for purposes of using hounds to track it?
The funny thing is, it's incredibly difficult to track a vampire with a dog if it's not like within moments fresh. Like you're there.
It's not
Vampires do not have a vampires do not have a natural bodily smell for the dog to follow.
Well, it's a shame Tremere's not a thing yet. And if they were, too bad we don't have one that has Illuminate the Trail of Prey.
Well, you do know some that practice blood magic.
Do we?
Indeed.
You do know some that
But-
practice blood magic.
Who are we supposed to think now?
Crethius practices it. You know that.
Critius? Who
But
was
do
he?
we really want to go see Crithius?
not really.
Who was Critius?
That's a bit... Crithius.
Midwest rings any bells?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, his child.
Yep.
Warm?
We do not want to go see him.
Oh, we are venting to the fire.
There is something that I can try, but it is not something that I wish to try. Something that I rather let as a last resort.
Let's considering our other options first. So we know where she won't go. Perhaps we can narrow it down by trying to recall who has hunting grounds where. Hatshepsut is knowledgeable enough to not go to a territory that is occupied by another. Perhaps we can
Hatshepsut.
draw him up.
Perhaps we could drop in on... Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, perhaps we could drop in on Ihamus and see if he may have seen her recently.
Hatshepsut herself is a distinctive woman. If we ask for her around in the districts where she hunts, we might find mortals that have spotted her.
Oh,
While
definitely.
that is a good thing we should probably do, I also think that whatever happened at Hatshepsut, asking around about her might bring the same trouble upon us as well. I'm not saying we shouldn't do it, I'm just saying maybe if we do that we should be doing it carefully and with precautions as well.
We should have a vague idea where she is generally. Once we locate the district, we can start asking around.
Okay, so do we want to go to the district?
I believe that's the best option. Yeah.
Okay. I will. Decius will send a lackey or whatever to the. Assuming this is something not a problem, he will send a lackey to the place of our patron, and he will send a letter, essentially a scroll, I should say, telling that something is amiss with Hatshepsut. She has been missing for several days now, and we will be investigating this mystery, so to say. So letting our patron know what's going on as well.
All right. So where are you going first?
Well, if we all want to go to the district first, we should do that.
Her normal district for hunting.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The thing is, vampires are creatures of habit. So, if any of you have followed her before, which I'm sure you have, you would know where that is. So, in general, you'd say probably 60% of the time, she goes approximately a quarter kilometer away, headed towards the center of the city. It's not a complete slum. She's not likely to get. She's not 100% likely to get mugged and stabbed there. But things have been known to happen. It's not unusual to find knifed corpses and such on the heaps of trash. So a few extra dead bodies has never drawn a unusual glance. All right, so you guys go there first. You head out into the streets. I need one of you to roll me a D100.
I'm definitely not going to roll a D100.
All
There
right.
you go.
Do any of you guys present as foreigners? Like, I know Decius definitely presents as a Romaner, but what about the rest of you guys?
Since we're going to be asking around, Nicodemus is going to try and wear a face that is more trustworthy than he actually looks like. So maybe a very Roman-like, but someone from the plebeian sort.
All right.
Like typical features, someone who seems like someone you can leave your children to keep watch over.
Your mask only needs to be one success because you're just kind of vaguely fudging your facial features. You're changing the shape of your nose a little, things like that, just a little bit.
Yeah, let me dig out the. Oh, of course, I don't have it on. I keep forgetting what the roll is.
That's okay. I don't know either. I have to look it up.
So
I
wait,
think it was
what's
intelligence performance, but I'm not sure.
Could be.
Or intelligence subterfuge. Well, we will see.
Just opening my PDF.
Are we talking Mask of a Thousand Faces?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, manipulation performance diff 7. So I've got the book right in front of me.
That's a useful thing to have.
Absolutely.
So we are going to this place together as a whole coterie. Are we also taking Hatshepsut's ghouls with us, to be clear? What does Luke say?
I think that would be
Probably.
wise.
Good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
They might
Yeah.
notice patterns that we wouldn't be able to.
At
Yeah, so
least
we
are-
take the war dog and the crossbowman.
Yeah, let's leave the actual, Matt guy in safe place. No, let's not bring him to streets because he probably will be a problem. Yeah. So we are I don't know, are we 8, 9 people right now? Yeah, we are a big
Something
crowd.
like that, yeah.
All right. As you guys make your way through the streets, you go through the dark alleys. the man-made canyons of Rome, along the muddy, rutted streets. You hear noises. You hear the distant markets, the echoing of wagons and travel. You see people sleeping on the ground, trying to sleep in the mud and the flooded areas of the recently where the waters have receded. And a group of men and women step out from the shadows. They are hooded with cheap, threadbare cloaks. They have makeshift clubs and weapons. A couple of them have burning sticks. None of them have any kind of serious weapon except for the torches. No axes, no swords, no nothing like that. Just improvised stuff. And the guy who's apparently the leader steps up and he says, well, there's a toll through this area now. 1 denarii apiece.
Oh, come on, man. We're piss poor actors trying to get our headway towards the performance. We don't have a denarii to a soul.
He takes the club and he pokes it at your chest and, very clearly shoves you back with it, and you can feel it thump. Boom! No damage, it's just this is a gesture of dominance.
Oh, really?
What's their number?
It's about 10 silver total.
No, I meant like how many people are
Yeah.
there? Thugs? Okay.
About 10, maybe 11.
Okay, and
You
is it
don't have
like
people? No,
female,
right.
males mixture?
Both, yes.
Yeah, what were you going to say, Warple? Okay, so this guy I can't hear you, Warple, right now. Are you speaking? Your name lights up.
Yeah, okay. Really, man? Look, and Nicodemus shows him his empty pockets, which he feigns to be like the typical gesture of "I'm fucking broke, man." We really have nothing to pay you with. It's really, come on. We're trying to make a hard living. It's really tough these days. And are we really worth your effort?
We're all hard up these days, boy. We all need money, food, clothes. I'm sure you can figure out a way. Your sandals and your cloak, hand them over.
I would like to wait.
Okay? All attention immediately goes to you.
Okay, so charisma performance.
Yeah, don't bother. All attention immediately goes to you.
Okay. Well, I want to give an impression such as how to say it, persuasive. I just want to say, let's be reasonable here. You, of course, have experiencing hard times, and we are also experiencing hard times, and it really does no one help to just create a trouble. So why won't you take this generous thing from me, and then we just walk away without having any problems between each other? And I will hand out probably what a common poor peasant will carry with him in streets, whatever money that is. So I guess I mean in 21st century numbers, I would hand them over like $10 maybe.
Yeah.
Is that
So, Nicodemus, you're off the hook. He shoves past you, puts his arm on your shoulder, shoves you out of the way. Him and the person with him, who has a torch, come up to you, Decius, and the leader reaches out and grabs Decius's wrist and holds his arm up, and you can see the silver ring on Decius's finger, gleaming in the torchlight.
Okay, so I can't make a.
And he goes, he's like, "Nice try there. I know you got way more money than that." And he like tucks the club under his arm and goes to grab the ring and try to pull it off your finger. And the person with the torch like jams it in your face, like trying to intimidate you. Need you to roll courage.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Diff 4, please.
Just a question. What are the chances for Nicodemus to be able to slip into the shadows somehow, considering that the attention is on Decius? And like, he can roll it into being shoved away, like he stumbles to the side, and then...
I'm not even going to make you roll for that. He's activated most of the attention's on him. The leader is clearly not paying attention to you. He shoved you to the side. You can just kind of fade back and disappear.
That's the plan. Nicodemus wants to survey around, see how many there are, and see if he can position himself behind the outer perimeter, as it were.
Yeah, absolutely you can.
Try to ambush the guards if the situation becomes this volatile.
Decius, as expected, you flinch back a little because somebody just shoved fire in your face. And you feel the beast rise up in you, and you're like, no, I'm Ventru, this isn't happening. And as I said, the man is trying to yank the silver ring off of your finger.
Okay. Is he trying to say that? Is he trying to do that? I will say, because this silver ring is probably, considering my resources, my money, this silver ring is probably not that much worth for me, and I really don't want to have trouble right now and hinder our times. I will say, listen, are you going to let us go if I give you this ring? Well, at least trying to yank that. I will just say that, and trying to pretty much haggle with this guy, make him be satisfied with this.
With the ring and a little. Oh, this is just for the toll for you lying to me. You still owe me money. To get through here. And he pops the ring off your finger and slides it onto his pinky. And then he starts patting you down, looking for your money bag.
Jesus Christ. Fuck it.
Nicodemus would try, seeing how it deteriorates and how the tension builds up. Nicodemus wants to sneak behind one of the outer sentries and render him unconscious, either by pulling him into the shadows, like make him disappear. If he needs to make a noise, that's fine.
Well, Nicodemus, you can activate and modulate silence of the silence.
Mm-hmm.
So, in complete silence, you sneak behind the rearmost person that nobody's paying attention to. Slip your arm around their neck. He tries to choke and make a noise, and you have extended the aura just far enough. And you yank him back into the shadows and render him unconscious in a rear naked choke sleeper hold.
Okay, the intent is to make a psychological terror. Maybe they will notice that someone's missing.
Alright, well, I'm going to do a group roll for the rest of them. Because they are pretty much watching their leader shake down a rich man at the moment, and that's pretty entertaining. 2 or 3 of them, they like go to elbow their companion you just yanked away, and they're like, what the fuck? Where'd he go? Hey!
Where'd he go?
Yeah, what? Hey man, where'd you go? And they're like looking around in confusion. As they actually turn their backs to the spectacle and begin looking in the shadows, trying to see what the heck, where their buddy went. As the Decius, if you don't stop him, the man is going to grab your coin purse and rip it off of you.
Well, I was going to say, at this time, I'm not sure where Labiena is in all of this, but given the situation, would it have been possible for her to kind of step into the shadow, like
Um,
just find,
the leader didn't
so to
shove you
speak,
aside,
you know?
so I think you would need a dexterity and stealth roll to be
It's just I have an
unobtrusive.
idea
Yeah.
to kind
They
of feed
started.
off of what Nicodemus just did.
Right. Yep.
She's got
So
an idea.
if you can try that, give me a dex and stealth roll to kind of sidle backwards out of the way while their attention's not on you, and fade into the darkness.
Hold up.
If I'm able to notice, to snap my attention away from Decius and to note the two guys walking to the shadows, would I be able to bring a nocturne over them?
You could
Also
bring a
sti-
nocturne over them, but that would be you're doing that in the middle of the street.
Oh, I thought they had probably using a back alley or something like that.
Well, I mean,
Also,
they're
are
kind of
we
all standing
talking-
around in a big circle with you guys in the middle, and they're like, hey, buddy, where'd you go, man? What the hell? And they're kind of like just kind of peering, maybe taking a couple of steps here or there, but they're not like disappearing.
I see.
All right.
So Nicodemus is like rear choke grabbing the guy and dragging him, to some corner.
Yeah.
I should
So
have
Just
more
to the-
power.
Labiana
Corner.
tries to sneak out, and one of the women shoves her back into the middle of the street. She's like, "Not so fast!" And the leader grabs Decius's coin purse, pulls it out.
I mean, people were doing something. Can I do something in the meanwhile? Because
Yeah,
I kind of
sure.
didn't see
Absolutely.
anything because others was doing something. Is the guy is going for my coin purse? Yeah, I think I'm going to cast entrancement on him.
Okay, go for it.
Check.
In the meanwhile, Labiena's gonna turn around and grab the woman's wrist.
Yeah, you do that, and she gets a good look at your hand, and she's like, "Ew, what's wrong with you?"
I'm sick.
Labiena proceeds to just stare at her.
Trying to find the dice.
I assume you're not going to let her wrist go.
Yeah. Just
No.
ask her, are you sure you want my money?
Appearance and empathy.
I rolled
Wow.
a div 3, but then again I get like 9, 8, 7, 6, 6.
Yeah, it's
So before he actually goes to yank my purse, I will cast entrancement, and I will just say, as I cast it, I will just say, just take the ring and this, and then I will hand them over essentially $10 or whatever it is, in Rome.
you give him a couple of
terms.
bronze coins, and he's
Yeah,
like,
and let's
"All right, man. I'm sorry. You're right.
yeah.
Let's go, guys. This is enough. This ring will feed us all tomorrow. Let's get out of here."
So as soon as Labiena hears that, she'll let the woman's wrist go, but will continue to stare at her until she goes away.
As they leave, the leader keeps looking back at Decius with a look on his face, which is like, "Man, I hate to walk away, but I have to."
Yeah, this is annoyed, definitely agitated at this. But to him, the ring doesn't have a really, value beyond its cost price. So he is okay with giving it away. In some other circumstances, he would really wish to just, try to actually get his ring back and also, get out of this situation without creating a problem. But, well, we are having a haste acid situation right now.
Alpna is smiling at Decius as the chiefs leave. Stay out of earshot. She's going to tell to him, "Feeding the plebs, how noble of you."
Well, some people do care about the city and its inhabitants. Not everyone can, be selfish.
And by this extent, we're sending a message that it's good business to just mock people in the streets.
Listen, maybe in some other circumstances we would have been teaching them a lesson, but right now we have a missing member. So set your priorities. Hatshepsut or giving societal lessons?
I suppose that's fair. Hatshepsut it is.
A good decision.
Indeed, let's go.
Try to not create problem, even if it's going to hurt your confidence or ideologies. You need to find information and that's all. We don't need trouble. So even if you have to submit a little bit, well, you are doing it with a rightful reason.
No worries, I'm an expert on submittance.
All of us are, to a certain extent. I will.
All right, you are unmolested the rest of the trip. Make it to the district where she likes to hunt. It's a network of buildings and streets that houses perhaps 4 or 5 apartment buildings and a number of businesses and a number of smaller dwellings for those who are not reduced to living in an apartment.
Do you hear any noises of partying around? Anything that might indicate some form of celebration?
There's a lot of people movement. People coming and going. Perhaps these are people who work nights, getting off of work, unloading carts and stuff like that. There's no street parties, I'll say that. Let's make a perception and investigation roll.
For all of us?
Well, one person make it. And
I don't think anyone has investigation in this group. I'm not sure.
Hold on.
you do not want to be using heightened senses here. I'll say that.
No.
Got one investigation.
Okay. Nicodemus got 2, but the sum is quite low. It was perception plus investigation.
Yeah, we'll add one
Just
dice
roll
for
them
everyone who can help you here. So,
I only have 1 as well.
1, 2.
What about the ghouls? Do they have some investigation? Look.
Let me check.
Add 3 dice.
Since
I'm looking
Lavia's
at
probably. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm looking at several total dice pool with the bonus. Anyone better? No one?
Yep.
Okay.
Doesn't
Let's
sound
roll.
like it.
sorry, what was that?
I asked if anyone had better than 7 pool total, including the +3 bonus. Okay,
You roll. Sounds decent enough. You roll.
What's the attribute being used?
Perception. The dog cannot make this roll.
Good job.
Oof.
Would it be possible if we had animalism?
I'm gonna toss in 1 willpower point to.
It turns out Hatshepsut's fallen down a well.
Oof.
That would be 3
3.
successes then.
All right. There's a couple little parties going on. You would term them parties. It's loose gatherings of people in a couple of the apartment buildings in the hunting grounds. But there's nobody's celebrating with a banner saying "I staked Hatshepsut." So, yeah, there's nothing like that.
Okay, I guess the idea is to ask around if anyone has seen her in the most subtle way possible. So Nicodemus's plan is to go to several of these parties. Sorry, are they public parties like thrown in the in a tavern or something?
No, these are in the insulae,
So like private ones.
semi-private. You're not going to really be down here unless you probably live in the area. That's kind of the thought behind this.
Yeah, and like presumably it'd be a sort of thing where there are guards, but if you slip past them, then no one's gonna really notice.
It's more considered to be more like a block party.
Okay, so if anyone not standing out of the place shows up, they're not going to bat an eye.
Right.
I guess this is Nicodemus's plan to just mingle with the people at the party and then like casually mention that, you know, Egyptian babes are hot and try to prompt discussion towards this kind of angle. Maybe someone had seen her.
Yeah, at the same time, Labiana might actually release Oculus to see if she might be able to garner anything.
All right.
Any kind of clues.
Do you know if Hatshepsut has any preferred type of prey?
Not children. That's what you'd know for certain. Where that probably won't help too much here.
Yeah. Open now you also mingle around the parts and try to ask around for an Egyptian girl that you heard.
Hey, before we move on, we are not splitting the party, right? This is all of us together going around and questions.
We won't get any information if we just walk around as a group.
Yeah,
Perhaps we need to be in a general vicinity, not split up too much.
Let's do it then.
Close
like
enough to call for help.
pair. Yeah, let's do it as a pair then, not alone.
That's fair.
So let's say Labiana, Albina, Nicodemus, Decius, and the ghouls
The ghouls.
do it themselves. I guess the dog and the ghoul soldier do it themselves.
All right. So each pair roll me a manipulation and investigation.
Yeah, you go for it.
Okay.
Corporal.
Yeah, one person in each pair. I'll say that. We'll put it like that.
We've got attributes down, but not abilities. What investigation would you say that my seneschal has?
I thought you left your seneschal behind.
Oh,
It will be more dangerous to take your seneschal to the estate.
okay. Then in that case, yeah, I just forgot. Sorry. Presumably the dog can't be asking questions. As great as that would be.
Yeah.
I was just about to ask what your dice pool was there, Albina, but you've already rolled it. Good thing you had a better dice pool than me.
All right. Nicodemus and Albina, as their team split up, and ask around. You guys are, you ask leading questions. Talk about, reminisce about the neighborhood. just in general, try to ingratiate yourselves and bring the conversations around to this exotic looking woman from Egypt. And she was in the area. They say they remember her. They haven't seen her in a while, a few nights, anyways. They remember her coming every so often, and she's a pretty good partier, and she usually brings some stuff to share, so they don't mind that she's not a neighbor.
She's not been around a while, you say?
Couple
When's
nights,
the last time?
couple of days, anyways. Haven't seen her.
That's a shame. I heard she was a lot of fun to be with. That she was, that those Egyptians are rather loose, if you know what I mean.
I've heard that, but my buddy Ron, he said she wasn't that loose, if you know what I mean. But he did get a chance to try it, so hey, good on him.
Perhaps she got settled down with someone. Did she met someone before she went missing? The last time that you saw her, she meeting with someone.
Like I said, it's been a bit. It's she's had it's been a while. When did he hook up with her? God, a month ago, maybe. Then I think I saw her at another place a couple days ago. I know Ron wanted to hook up with her again, and she turned him down. Said she was going somewhere else today. So, he was a little disappointed. I kind of remember him coming home and being a little upset.
Oh,
What place is she going to?
Oh, I don't know. It's another place a little bit further on, I guess.
I see. Thank you. And I believe that is all that she's going to ask of me. To ask about this friend of his, the one that tried to hook up with Hatshepsut but failed. She's going to ask if he's around, if they can talk.
Oh yeah, he's upstairs, second door. He might be with somebody though. So, if you interrupt him, make sure that she gets a chance to leave, and he has to suffer from uncompleted coitus the rest of the night, because that'd be hilarious.
She grins.
With friends like these.
She grins. I'll make sure to not let him get finished before I interrupt him.
All right, well, you do that.
She heads off to the place that she was told he would be at.
All right, so Albina and Labiana trudge upstairs a floor. Find the door. You go to shove it open and hit somebody's feet, and you hear, "Hey, this is occupied in here, man." And noises, giggling, and so what do you do?
We know that it is occupied. Me and my friend are hoping to join.
Labiana just looks over at Albina, like, seriously?
Are you sure about this?
Yeah, come back tomorrow. I'm a little busy right now, and I think we're good with 2. They go to kick the door back shut, and
Well, I suppose it's like, do you think we could just ask a couple of questions before we go?
in an increasingly frustrated voice, you hear, "Go away!"
Me and my friend do the freaky stuff.
I'm doing the freaky stuff. Go away.
Labiana might mumble under her breath, "You don't know how freaky."
you need more company.
your friend sent us your way. He said you are not getting freaky enough. And then she's going to name drop the guy downstairs.
You hear the girl says something in a high pitched voice. Quite clearly, this was not something she wanted to hear. And there's some muttering and talking behind the door, and you hear the sharp smack of a hand meeting a face.
Oh dear.
And the door is flung open, and she marches out, getting dressed and doing the walk of shame down the hallway. And the guy comes out about half-mast, and he's like, "God fucking damn it! What the fuck is wrong with you two?"
So wait, who's wearing the like red face welt then?
He is.
He is.
Oh, relax. If everything works out, you get to lay with the Egyptian girl that you have been dreaming of since last month, from what I understand. We are looking for her, you see. We wanted to get together with her, and I think you should and I think we can get her to add you to the group. But we have been having a hard time finding her.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen her for a couple days either. Obviously, he's suffering from the after effects of being interrupted here. Not very happy.
Yeah.
Sits down and sits down on the pile of discarded clothing and the straw mattress. And he flops back on his back, and he's like, "If you see her, bring her up here and tell her I'm ready."
Alpina is going to cover her hand with some cloth to try to mask the coldness of it. To try to diminish the coldness of it. And she's going to wrap her hand around his half mask.
Yeah, he shoves you away. He's like, "I don't want anything from you. I don't want anything from you." Just.
So at this point, Labiana just kind of walks out the room and just stands outside the door.
He's like, if you want to do something for me, you can go downstairs, you can grab my buddy, and you can kick him in the nuts as hard as you can. Because then he'll feel the pain I'm feeling right now.
I'm just thinking, if you add both his heads together, you can get police-like colors.
Oof.
You said he told us that you spoke to her not long before, the last time that she was spotted. Say that she was heading somewhere else, yeah? That she could not stay with you because she was looking for another place. Do you know what other place it is?
Yeah, she was headed down the street. There's another Insulay, about 120 paces north. Turn left at the fountain. It's a lot of foreigners in there. Lot of they may have it barricaded off now because of the violence, but yeah, a lot of rich foreigners that made some money in Trastevere and moved into the city.
She nods at this. She gets up looking content with the information that she has received. Thank you. I will leave to your methods right now, but something tells me that girl is going to be returning for you if you'd like.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna rub one out and then maybe go to sleep, so get out of here.
She nods as she gets out. And is the girl that she spotted leaving the room still around?
Nah, she's gone.
Fuck.
What a poet you've interrupted.
As soon
Yeah.
as Albina leaves the room, Labiana's just gonna look over at her and shake her head.
I got she told me of a place that has been taken up by rich foreigners. Seems to be the last place that his son had heading towards.
Labiana will force out a sigh and just say, I may question your methods sometimes, Albina, but they are quite effective, I will say that.
She smiles.
I'll be right back, guys. Keep
Oh,
talking.
she smiles to her. In the end, isn't the effectiveness all that matters?
Indeed. Anyway, I suppose we should get going.
Yes. Let us meet with the others.
Of course. Alright, well, I suppose what are the other two up to?
Well, Chris can't be here right now, so
We don't know either.
Yeah.
Do you like
That's all
it,
good.
Nicodemus? Do you like it?
Passionately.
You-
The sight of people mingling about themselves and indulging in their carnal pleasures is always a sight to behold. Do you not feel the same way? Decius, I expect our patron would be very fascinated by all those little things. Unless he demands high poetry and exquisite theater to portray all of those subtle intricacies of social engagements.
It is not right for me to say what my patron might be thinking, but a small part of me, or maybe a large part of me, assumes that he definitely would be interested in more what you would call high poetry and stuff like that, instead of being in this tainted place, so to say.
Why is it tainted? It's just people doing people things. The so-called high poetry is none other than this. It's just wrapped up in a better looking package.
Nicodemus, nothing is of the powerless. They might have created it, but surely, if it is more important than their worth, it's on us to take that from them and improve it and give it the shape,
All
the
right.
smell.
Sorry about that. That was an important phone call I actually had to take.
No, it's everything alright?
Oh yeah. That was actually my
Doctor?
mom because my phone carrier is doing something really weird with our phone numbers, and they keep doing it where I don't know if it's my phone carrier or her phone carrier, where they'll call me and it'll say, well, this number is not in service, and I know it's in service, or it'll say this number is not correct. Well, yeah, it is. So it for some reason it gives her a lot of trouble getting through.
That's weird.
It's only technology. It's bound to fail.
All right. So you have narrowed down the search. You have found witnesses that place her going to this other apartment building, this other insulae. It's owned by some. Many of the apartments are owned by some foreigners who have come into money. And due to the recent violence, there's a good chance it's kind of on lockdown.
Okay.
All right.
Lockdown
As in,
cannot
they're
get inside.
yeah. Well, they'll probably have people guarding the doors and such. I mean, there's only so much you can do as a citizen and not an armed force. You know, you can barricade the doors and be careful about letting people in.
So it is like private guards, not not Roman guards, not legionnaires.
Call them. I wouldn't even call them private guards. It's just the people of the building, you know, looking out for it.
It's pretty much vigilante neighborhood.
Yeah, a neighborhood watch, as it were.
Yeah.
Are there any
Makes
signs
sense.
of party coming from this insula?
All right. No, you make your way over to it. It is dark and quiet. Windows are shut. Doors are shut. It would appear they're doing their best to not be noticed.
Do we? Can you, Nicodemus, use a obfuscate to see, scout ahead, unknown, unnoticed?
Well, certainly, but I'm not sure what I'm looking for.
Are we not interested in what is inside?
I don't see any. I don't hear or notice any parties going on. There's really nothing, no lead to go on, unless someone casually mentions an Egyptian girl running about. I mean, sure, but we don't. Do we have any other leads? Do we have any names? I don't think so.
Don't you think that if we don't have any other leads or any things we can do, it certainly would be at least worth to give it a shot in this case? Even if it turns out to be something useless, something that won't help us, we can at least say that we tried.
Well, I mean, I think it goes without saying we could probably start by, asking the two men guarding the front door.
Yeah.
There's also another thing. I will with two guards. Or, well, you know what? There might be precious things inside. Never mind. I'm not going to say that. Yeah, I mean, I think two of you can ask them. And maybe we can also use that as a distraction if we want to sneak in.
All you got to do is go up to the door and knock on it.
Yes.
That's
No,
the plan.
All right. You knock on the door. From the other side, you hear some shuffling. Somebody getting up. You hear some rattling a little bit. You feel like you could break down this door pretty easily if you wanted to. And you hear, "What do you want?" coming through the door.
We are looking for a friend of ours.
Who is it?
We heard they may have visited here recently.
There's no visitors here. Sorry, it's just some people trying to get to sleep and go to work in the morning.
We understand that they have been an eager participant in some events.
Nothing here going on tonight. Sorry.
Not tonight, no, but perhaps some days ago.
Well, like I said, nobody here. Nobody left over from parties. No overnight guests. Just people trying to get to sleep and go to work. Be good Romans.
We got coin.
Yeah, but perhaps some of those people knows the one that we are talking about.
Sorry, man. It's pretty late, and they really need to get some rest so they can go work. Maybe come back tomorrow when everybody's up and about.
Well, perhaps you or someone else there may have seen an Egyptian woman recently?
Egyptian woman. I mean, you got a name?
I believe she goes by the name of Hatshepsut.
Rattle, rattle, wood rattle, door opens. Why didn't you say so? Come in.
Who's this dude?
Yes, sudden attitude
Now,
change.
now this
Um,
is suspicious.
Yeah. Spirit advisor saying, be careful.
Yeah.
Okay. Nicodemus is suddenly all too aware of his surroundings. Uh, any notice that someone's watching us, or
The inside of the insulate is completely dark. There's no lights, no lamps, no candles, no torches. It would appear this person was laying against the door when you disturb them. They the ground floor, which is of course the rich floor, actually has doors on the individual apartments. As usual in these kind of things, the further up you go, the cheaper it gets, and the more crowded it gets.
I'm gonna take a step back at the sudden change in
Attitude
behavior.
type. Behavior, yeah.
So you know,
If you ever want her back, you better come in.
Wow, not even trying to be subtle though. Okay.
Red flag.
should have been the red flag all over. Yeah.
is that a threat?
I'm just giving the message I was told to give.
And who told you to give us this message?
The most perfect woman in all the world.
Me? I don't remember saying that.
You said it in character?
This guy actually busts out laughing about that. That was actually pretty funny.
Alvin is going to step inside.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nicodemus comes in too.
Labiena's gonna
he-
step in cautiously.
Let's enter this building. We might never be able to leave.
Excellent.
I like to live dangerously, guys.
Hmm.
So what, you're staying outside?
Never has it been a problem for us to enter the mouth of the monster, you know?
It's not the mouth of the monster, it's just the messenger.
Well, it depends. I mean, I think what would be a good thing to do as Labiana walks inside is to immediately, become much more aware of her surroundings and try and notice anything else out of the ordinary. Perhaps of a supernatural nature?
There's nothing.
Let's enter, guys.
Okay.
So what's the message?
He leads you back to one of the apartments on the ground floor. There's like 4 of them, and opens the door, goes inside. You guys, I assume, follow him.
Yep.
Turns around and says in a voice which is clearly he's been told to say this. He says, Hatshepsut is only the first. If you ever want her back, you will have to do many things for us.
And who are us?
That you don't get to find out until we're ready.
How many there are inside this building?
He is the only one in the apartment besides you.
Can Auspex read memories? Is that a thing?
Auspex? No.
Was it emotions? You know, the telepathy. Was it emotions?
Telepathy
or
allows
was
you to read surface thoughts.
Excuse me.
Uh,
I wish I had something useful here.
Do you at least know who's this perfect woman? If nothing else, that you may pay your respects to her.
Not yet.
It's
She's
a
not
bird.
ready for you.
she seems to be. Does he seems to be talking out of dominate or with his free own will?
It's probably presence.
Both. We'll say both.
Does it seem like there's any object in this room that is seemingly out of the ordinary, considering the man's stature? Perhaps there is a memento, perhaps there is some item that's been left or tinkered with that seems like whoever was there touched it, fiddled with it.
No. However, there is a pile of clothing balled up and thrown in the corner.
Seems familiar.
Does it seem like there are feminine clothes in there? Or
Yes, it
just
is.
Is it familiar clothing?
You'd have to go shake it
Yeah.
out and look.
You don't mind me
Well-
having a look at this?
I was hoping you would ask.
no.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Labiana also has an idea. Seeing as someone has clearly gotten to this man, she suspects that whoever it was may have touched something else in the room. She kind of casually, I suppose, backs over to it, places a hand on the doorknob of the apartment, and casts Spirit's Touch.
All right.
Yeah, that's what Nicodemus is going to do with the clothing.
All right. And so both of you guys roll Spirit's Touch for me,
Okay.
Right.
which is perception and empathy.
What
The
diffs do we get?
clothing is difficulty 5, and the doorknob is going to be difficulty 9.
Okay.
While they are doing that, I will quick look into this person.
5.
I will ask him if he knows how we are supposed to meet in future, like how we are supposed to contact in future.
Just quickly, can I use a willpower on this roll?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Definitely doing that.
They're back.
All right. Nicodemus with 3 successes. Basic information, a second piece of basic information, and useful information. You see a vision of, from Hatshepsut's point of view, of this person being one of her attackers, and there were a couple others. Unfortunately, it's dark and confusing and quite fearful. And in the vision, you actually feel and see her transform and slip out of the clothes and attempt to run away. And that's where the vision ends.
And there was no one else trying to touch it. Those clothes.
Well, I mean, she was the last real owner that would leave a big psychic impression.
Yeah.
That's
Also,
fair.
did Nicodemus see the location
Here,
from that point of view?
Was it
well,
here?
here.
Okay.
Labiena. Sorry, there's a lot of people. With the only one success, you see this person, the ghoul, standing in front of you, that has come in and out of the store quite a lot.
You say that you have to do things for your people if you are to see your friend back. What sort of things?
Oh, they will give you messages. They will give you the tasks needed.
Do you have a guarantee that your friend is still unharmed?
You're just gonna have to trust us.
Um, Chris, I have a question. When you kill someone and then you spirit touch on them, would they count as an object for the purposes of what they experienced beforehand?
Yeah,
How
because
would
it's
that
just a
work?
body.
Okay, so you could kill someone, then you spirit touch, and then see what happened like some time ago.
No. What you would
No?
most likely see is his death. From his point of
Okay.
view.
No. No, I do not think that we are going to have to trust you. Take us to Hatshepsut and then try to dominate him.
Go ahead.
Sure. You kind of need preparation before it actually takes us that chapter. I mean, we can kidnap the dude and then command him to take us to Hatshepsut later, but... Or, you know what? They probably changed location after sending this guy back, so he's probably not going to be in the...
You are 100% sure that your beast comes out in your eyes and you stare at him and you, through the power of your blood and dominate, take us to Hatshepsut. And he should have quivered and fallen to his knees and begged to do it for you. You see in his eyes the fear. But there is another will in his head that stops him from obeying you.
I'm guessing they got more successes.
Yeah, probably I got more success on her dominate or something.
So he's
Not sure if
you can
Not
see the struggle, and he's like, no.
not sure if the specialization would apply.
Yeah, I did a GM role, and he got way more successes than you did. This isn't even
Yeah.
his willpower role. This is somebody else doing stuff.
I mean, in my head, I'm thinking that we should just kidnap this guy and interrogate him and then prepare instead of like actually trying to dominate him to take us ahead right now, which probably will be a problem actually, even if he takes us ahead.
I mean, that's.
So I don't know. Can some of you knock this guy out?
As much as it pains me to use these words in correlation to a living person, I think he'd be just he'd just be a baggage, a needless baggage. It's obvious they've let him to just deliver the message and took every precaution to not allow us to extract any more information.
True. Then-
Especially with what we suspect has been done to him.
Then I do think we should leave and go to the group place. Just a laugh.
I'm gonna think a bit. And these messages, how are you going to receive them?
I don't know, but I'm sure they will make sure that you know when you've received it.
Very well. And are you going to remain here so that if we have any questions about the instructions, we may come to you?
I don't know.
Did it clarify?
Depends on what I'm told to do.
Yeah, Albina, it is said to know, but this man will not provide us anything else. I do feel that any question you ask is simply meaningless.
Perhaps. She's going to step away and have no more questions to ask.
I think we should leave now.
So yeah,
Let's.
Govin, how does your ghoul feel about the fact that her coterie is abandoning her in her hour of need?
Ooh.
You're an heroin addict, remember?
You're going to still find her, right?
Listen,
Yes,
we will.
it just doesn't seem like we can do anything more here.
Well,
You'll probably need to
Yeah.
make like a charisma empathy check. I'd say that he can be calmed down, but it's going to take effort.
well, ultimately at this point, Labiana, with her usual expressionlessness, is just going to say, look, ultimately, we'll find no more answers here, but that does not mean we will stop looking.
Just
But if we,
Nicodemus will
leave
practice.
now and chase other avenues, there is more of a chance that we will find her.
Nicodemus interposes himself between Labiana and the ghoul because he knows that her expressionless demeanor, concealed further by the fact that she wears a mask or a veil, or I actually forgot what she uses to conceal herself. But he lays a hand upon the ghoul's shoulder and look. Hatshepsut is dear to us all. He has been our companion and the member of our group for quite a while. We cannot afford her loss, and believe me when I say it, she is very important, and we will not abandon her. It's just that it seems that currently we are at an end without answers. We'll need to regroup and strategize properly because here's just a dead end.
Okay, she trusts you, so I'll trust you for now.
Okay, let's go to our place and have a deep discussion about this situation. There's no reason to expose ourselves future in this place. And I think we return to Group Haven.
And it goes without saying that he still isn't happy, but he's going along with it so far.
Must suck to know that your drug dealer is missing.
Oh no.
Chris is just typing a huge tightrope
All right.
to see if we get
Um,
killed or not.
You guys return to your haven and you talk. It gets quiet for a couple of weeks. Nobody contacts you or asks you to do anything. But you do have a little bit of time to handle some personal business in those couple of weeks. So is anybody doing some personal stuff before we jump back into that?
I suppose the question is, do we feel safe enough considering that they've issued a warning saying that that she
We are
was the
next.
first.
True.
Does it mean that we're not we should probably change our feeding patterns because going out on our lonesome is maybe too dangerous.
Well, that's true. I think for fixing this, we should like be careful and change some patterns and probably stay together lighter. But also, before we left the group haven to investigate where Het went, Chris, I sent a letter to our patron telling him that Het is missing. Before the time skip, would he return with something?
Not before the time skip, but after the time skip, he will.
Okay, I think during those 2 weeks we should just stay together and try to, I don't know, gather information about Het and maybe get some allies. I'm not sure. I feel like we should try to get some allies and maybe try to make some contacts, prepare for like so to say war between us and them.
If necessary, you could probably draw on the stockpile of Typhon's brew she has if you're like desperately in need of blood and can't go out. The ghouls are going to be doing that while during the absence. So
They might target our resources too. We should keep this in mind.
I mean, they might target our resources, but again, this time it is not going to be kindreds from, or I should say, it's still going to be kindreds from Rome, but it's like Agatha and she's cast.
well, you guys don't know that it's
Yeah, we don't know
we
this.
don't know this, yeah. But we have a patron, so he's supposed to protect us from stuff like that. So we will see how that goes. I think during the 2-week time skip, we should try to contact with other kindreds, possibly with kindreds we already have some positive relationships, and test the waters, see if we can get some, if we can ask their help for this in future cases, prepare for war essentially. We probably should not be just waiting 2 weeks without doing anything because we are scared.
I wonder what Ihamus would think of all this.
I guess we can meet with Ihamus.
I'm asking mainly because I'm genuinely not sure.
We could spin this around that someone's hunting Setites or some shit.
Something that I do believe is that we can, if they are going to keep coming for us, that means that we can use that as one of us as a bait.
I think the last time we used someone as a bait, we lost like 2 kindreds. It went good.
Well, no, technically, last time we used someone as bait, it turned out fine. It's just it turns out Alvina's sire was going completely above, beyond orders anyway.
Well, so to speak, acting someone as bait has not really been successful for us.
Okay. So over the next couple of weeks, next several weeks actually.
And during her,
So go ahead, Alden.
the prior thing that Alden is going to do, she's going to visit the temple from the Great Mother.
Okay. You can definitely do that. I need you to roll a D100, please. And who are you bringing with you, if anybody?
I think it's like
You're good. No, you do not get molested on your way in.
She's going by herself.
Yeah. So, what Albina notices as she goes through the city, and then you all notice, due to the increased patrols, the threat of violence, neighborhoods are beginning to wall themselves off from each other. There's a lot of meaningless sniping back and forth between various neighborhoods, and people are getting beat up on a regular basis. The violence is getting worse. Feeding. Your feeding difficulties are now 5 if you don't care what you're feeding on, and 7 if you do care. And you now have a 40% chance of getting set on anytime you go out.
I think at this point we should hang out as a coterie and not be lone wolves doing stuff alone.
So
Indeed.
the news begins to trickle in from outside of Rome. The district that holds Capua is the first to declare itself an open rebellion against Rome. And there are,
Capua.
of the other districts, other regions in Italy, about 7 more swiftly follow. About 6 pledge loyalty to Rome itself. So it's like 7 against 9 or something like that, of all the big districts. Rome capitulates to the Etruscans almost immediately and grants them full citizenship and rights of voting and rights of all Romans. So they are now full Roman citizens.
How does it reflect on kindred politics?
As far as you guys know, not so much at the moment. However, you're about to learn, as soon as we get back to group business, it's going to have a major effect on you, on all the kindred. So, but let's go to Albina here. Albina, you make your way to the Temple of the Great Mother. It's quiet. It is on the Aventine Hill, and as we said, the Aventine Hill has been a particular focus of much violence. The area around the temple, you can see that there has been some violence. A few buildings have been burnt down. The temple itself is in fine condition. Nobody's attacked it. There doesn't appear to be like obvious guards or nothing like that.
She goes over to the temple.
Okay.
If she tries to enter it.
You enter it. You go inside. It is laid out as you remember. No real changes. It's pretty empty. It's dark. No lights burning. No nothing going on here.
Does she see anyone else inside, or does she to be?
No, there were a couple of lookouts, basically, outside the temple, just to make sure nobody was going to be leading an armed mob here to burn it down. But it appears that everyone has gone home.
I remember that there was a back room, right? A place that the guy that castrated himself was taken.
Yes, there was a hidden door. You remember where it's at? In your shadow form, you can easily slip through it.
No, she's not in a shadow form. She's just going to go there, and I assume that there is no one in the main room. She's going to knock on it.
Nobody answers.
She's going to try to open it.
So you can do this one of two ways. You can give me a wits and legerdemain roll, or a pure strength and potence.
To do the strength and potence.
Okay.
Is that going to break the door, or is that just going to open it?
It's going to break the mechanism holding it shut.
And never mind, they're going to do the wits and legerdemain. Don't want to break it.
All right. Yeah. So go ahead and roll that. It's difficulty 6. Outstanding. There is a thin slot. And you believe that some of the implements on top of the top floor could fit inside of it, and lo and behold, it does. And you move a wedge out of the way, and the door suddenly becomes loose. And it pivots and allows you inside.
What does she see once the door is open?
You go down the steps, you turn the corner. Um, there is 2 or 3 people, say 3 people, one of whom is the necromancer, and the other 2 you kind of sort of remember from the ceremony.
She's going to approach, bowing her head politely, understanding that she is in trespassing into their territory, into their domain.
Mm-hmm.
I like to speak to the priestess, and then she's going to give the name of the human priestess, the one that's tried to recruit them.
She steps out from behind the shadows. She's like, "Oh, it's Albina Palace. Come to join us again. Have you rethought our offer?"
In some ways, yes. I understand that this cult is founded or is supported by Sibyl.
She came with it. That's true.
Do you know where she is now?
No. She's long disappeared.
I see. That's unfortunate. Recently, a friend of mine found herself getting kidnapped. Hatshepsut. Do you remember her?
I do.
Would you know anything about this?
Why do you suspect us?
I was told by, from what I understand, to be one of the servants of the kidnapper, that the woman running the show is the most amazing woman in the world. I believe that would be something that could describe the Great Mother.
Well, I can't argue with you there, but that hardly seems to be a reason to point a finger at us.
You are right. It is not just a reason of pointing a finger. It's also a reason to, but I'm also here, not here just to point a finger. I'm here also to look for assistance in recovering her.
Ah, I see. I've heard of this. You refer to it as the trading of boons. Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh, I see. Well, how much is your companion worth to you?
A major boon.
Major boon. And what do you expect from us?
I expect active participation in trying to rescue her, learning who has her, and getting her back.
Well, if you were to bring us something of great personal importance, we could narrow it down. We could narrow down the search for you.
And you see what I can arrange. And thank you. I believe that is everything that I had to speak. There is nothing else. I'll take my leave.
Well, have a wonderful night.
Same to you and to the other members, the other daughters and sons of the Great Mother. She's going to head out if no one stops her.
No, nobody stops her.
And yeah, she's going to return to their own coat.
All right, yeah. You show back up with completely unharmed and in every way.
She's going to start looking around for stuff that will be personal to Hatshepsut. She's going to ask her ghouls for any insight that they might have on something that is personal to her.
Some of her magic ritual implements, her astrology charts, probably.
Mm.
She's going to take it to bring back to the Great Coat, to the coat of the Great Mother.
Okay. Outstanding. All right. They take it. They have a. She says it's going to take a couple of possibly hours. So you might as well make yourself comfortable. She walks away with it.
I'm sorry, what?
Said the priestess walks away with the item, and basically says you should probably make yourself comfortable. It's going to be a while.
She nods as she takes a seat on the ground or anywhere else that might be possible. She just calmly waits, looking around and observing anyone else that might be in the coat.
Right. Unfortunately, there is no gilded seating, no fancy waiting areas, no servants to bring you blood or anything like that. It's literally just sit in the temple and wait.
So yeah, she just waits.
Yep. She does eventually come back after several hours with the item and a cup of water and a needle. And she says that their divinations have pointed to the region of the Trastevere, which is the region across the Tiber. It is very dangerous out there. There's a lot of violence, a lot of patrols. A lot of the foreigners pretty much are all get stuck out there. That's the camp where people come in. That's where they set up shop until they can either make money or bribe somebody to be allowed inside of Rome itself to live. She says she is somewhere in there, and as long as you keep these items together, as you get close, it will begin spinning faster and faster.
She nods as she very gently and carefully takes the items.
The magic will fade after a week.
I understand. Thank you. And thank you, and thanks the Great Mother.
All right. You make your way back, and by now it is quite late, so you have to wait till the next night. The night when you get up, there is a letter waiting on you. The herd tells you that it was delivered during the day by a man who simply dropped it off and said that he was instructed to do this. Here you go. It is the first set of instructions to getting Hatshepsut back.
Once we get everyone together, we open the letter and read it.
It says, if you want her back, you must meet with the next representative, and it tells you where. You are to bring one of the Malkavians with you, staked.
Arcavians.
there's much. Is the ghoul of head with us right now? I think the ghoul wouldn't be with us as we are reading this letter.
You probably need to have not told him why it was.
Yeah, we probably would keep him away from this as we only as coterie having this private moment. So with that said, Decius will say the situation in hand is infuriating. Hatshepsut is kidnapped, and as a coterie, we must bring her back safely. But to do that, they are also asking us to do stuff that will certainly be against everything we are standing for. Or maybe for some of us it is not true, but I'm simply simplifying things right now. Their purpose with this Malkavian is most probably they will either kidnap her, him, and do stuff. It's about information. And blood bond, dominate prisons. We can expect all kinds of things to be done. And as if that is not enough, they say that we will have to do many things for them before we actually get Hatshepsut. So this is probably one of the first and probably one of the simplest tasks they will ask us. I expect it to be exponentially getting more dangerous and more harming for us, for Rome, for Prince. This bruise. Oh, sorry, I don't know. Sorry, that was a little matter there. Never mind that. This situation we are in is messy, but sadly, there's a certain extent, certain limit that we cannot pass a threshold of betrayal. And I'm unsure if we should really pass that threshold for... Well, if we should pass that threshold in these circumstances when a war is near.
I have found a way that we might come to Hatshepsut without having to follow his instructions.
Are you certain?
Yes.
We would also
That
have to
sounds
make sure
promising.
that it is, but we would certainly have to make sure that they don't detect anything else we may try to do outside of their instructions.
This is a risk we will have to take. Why won't you, Nicodemus and Labiana, use your auspex skills to read this letter? See what you will get.
Probably a false proxy, but why not? Let's look.
Yeah,
There we go,
you
I
won't
suppose.
lose anything by doing that.
Just gonna spirit touch this note.
Yeah.
Well, so what's the difficulty for that?
7. You sense great tension. The person writing it is under fear of his life. The scent of fear permeates the letter. He is obviously writing this. He's a scribe, and he's obviously writing this under threat of death.
The jurors.
Interesting. So he wasn't entranced or otherwise allured by presence.
No, other
Well,
impressions of any kind?
Prisons, I mean, at least Prisons 1 can still be very scary in use, so...
Yeah, it's true, but the previous one was like was more uh, um, he was more alert.
Yeah. I mean,
But why not this one?
well, I mean, well, first of all, how much does scribes earn in Rome? That's a question, because economical state might also determine what kind of personality a guy will have. Like the type, which is the poor person, might be more, easy to entrance and exceptionally easy to entrance if there's also a reward, like money. But maybe a scribe is maybe more, I don't know, has more ideologies or something like that, and then they might have decided that scaring them will be an easier option. I think this is not really an important information at the moment. It might come handy later, but we shouldn't really go paranoid over it.
No, hold on. Is it possible to, given the information that we have glimpsed, is it possible to figure out who was it and where did he perform this service?
No,
Describe.
no. Even
Or
in
even narrow?
Spirit's Touch, you can even see his face, and he's a total stranger.
So I don't suppose there's any kind of landmarks that he might have seen.
No, it's a room. And he's looking at the letter. He's writing it. You feel great fear.
Yeah, like if he was writing it outside, maybe then, but inside it's just another Roman room.
So what's this? Is there any date we're giving to show up with the Malkavian?
That's a damn good question.
Like,
2 nights from tonight. So you have tonight and tomorrow night.
Oh, bitch.
Okay, here's what I'm thinking. Albina, you say that you are certain that this thing will help, and I trust you, which is why I think that if, considering we have 2 nights, I consider that we should meet with our allies, meet with our patron, and we should gather as much of force as we can, and we should simply try to find Hatshepsut.
There's a danger to taking too large a force. I'm just noting. As a spirit advisor.
I suppose it's a bit late to ask Nosferatu for help.
A
Maybe they
Nosferatu
know.
would be useful.
I mean,
Maybe Papa Roach.
what was happening with Papa Roach? I know we should have asked this a couple of weeks earlier when we still had time, but brain fart.
Listen, we have 2 nights, and this is like the beginning of the night. So let's contact Papa Roach, okay? And we should hang out as a coterie, and they might probably have some spies on us as well. We can assume that they have spies on us, and they're checking what we are doing. So let's meet with Papa Roach, offer the boon, and get his help, if he will be willing to help us. Then let's meet with one of those more martial kindreds, probably Albina will know, and offer them a boon. Possibly Ihomos might be willing to help us as well for a boon, and because it's Hatshepsut in question, he might kind of make a what is it called? Maybe decrease the cost of the boon a little bit, like a little bit of discount maybe. I'm not sure. For the sake of their relationship, I'm hoping. And lastly, I myself can get help of a Ventru for more, I guess, other kind of help. Maybe more manpower instead of kindreds, or kind of like a barricade around the street or something like that. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think we should get allies, and then we should use the item Albina has to find Hatshepsut. What do you guys think? Come on.
Sure.
Okay. So we meet Papa Roach first.
All right. Let's take 10. Come back in 10.
I might be a little bit late.
All right. Whirlpool City's gonna be another couple of minutes, but we'll go ahead and get started again.
Okay, so... Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say the plan is to go talk to the Nosferatu, correct?
Well, I was actually thinking that we could split the group in half to save some time because we have only 2 nights and bunch of allies to contact. I was thinking that Nicodemus and I, with my ghouls, can go to the Nosferatu. Albina, Labiena can go to their martial allies. I think it was another La Sombra we used with the last werewolf fight. That woman might be useful to have. And then Luke's ghoul and the dog, they can run to our patron's house as fast as possible and then tell him our plan so that our patron can help us immediately or as quick as possible. So that's what in my head. So we split the party to save some time.
What about Ihamus? Should we talk to him as well?
Well, for Ihamus, I was thinking that after we do all of these, one of the group could go to Ihamus, or when you are finished, we can go to Ihamus. Whichever group is faster goes to Ihamus next.
Alpina is going to tell about how the thing that she got, how the divination tool that she got works, but she's not going to tell where she got it from. And yeah, it sounds like a solid plan to me. Split it up to try to run as quickly as possible.
Remember that when you're offering boons, it will be a coterie boon, so no one is, sacrificed or thrown under the fire or anything. So we are doing it as a coterie. So yeah, let's split the group and do it. We probably should start with the Albina's group because Nicodemus is not here, Vorpal is not here, so.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if getting I'm not sure if trying to trade boons with people that I still have to pay back could be a good idea.
I mean, but the thing is, the catch is that you are not offering yourself. It's the coterie, so it's different kind of boon. And I think when it's like coming from the whole coterie, they will accept it because now we are all obliged to partake.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I don't think the rest of us know exactly what kind of a boon Albina offered.
A major boon.
Yeah, but that major
a
boon
major
was
boon,
older.
but-
I'm talking about a new offer. So and another, like a major boon, but whole coterie owes it, not just Albina. So it's all of us. We will do it together.
Yeah, I mean, certainly consider that, I suppose.
I don't think they will be stupid enough to just say, "Oh, a whole coterie is offering a major boon. I'm gonna decline that."
I guess we head off to meet him.
So who is the second group going after?
So the first group, which is Albina and Labiena, they are going for the ally. I don't know the name. I don't remember it. Ghoul dog and the ghoul human.
What ally?
Oh, okay. Well, I was thinking Albina can choose better, but I was thinking that the woman who helped us with the werewolf fight, you remember the one who killed like 2 werewolf or something herself?
Alethea.
Yeah, I was thinking that Albina can go to Alethea.
Alethea.
She was
She
struck.
would. Yeah.
So
Question
I
is,
was
would
thinking,
she want to help us again?
yeah, so I suggest that Albina and Labiena go to Alethea, offer her a major boon for the whole coterie in exchange of helping us with this. Pretty much that. And then the ghoul go to the patron and simply explain the plan and ask for patron's help. Nicodemus and I go to the Nosferatu, offer a boon for the whole coterie again. After that, whichever group is faster then goes to the Ihemus, and also offers another boon for the whole coterie to them.
Okay, so what I need all you guys to do is roll a d20, subtract that number from your maximum blood pool, and that's how much blood you have left.
D20, and then
Uh-huh.
subtract what? Sorry?
Subtract your result from your maximum blood pool, and that's how much blood you have left.
After the night.
Tonight, right now.
Right now, okay. Okay.
Oof.
Shit. Oof.
Welp. So subtract that from maximum. That's
So
gonna
this
make
is at the
Labiana
beginning
rather
of the
hungry.
night, or is it later in the night?
This is 11 p.m.
Okay.
Labiana is feeling pretty, she's pacing, she's got some pent-up, rage going on. She's exhibiting the signs of hunger, like bad hunger.
Okay. We have a coterie herd. Use it. Just use the coterie herd. We have a bunch of people. Feed from them quickly. Be done with it. We are having a. We are in rush of time, so you can't just go on a hunting.
All right. Labiana,
Probably a good
you
idea,
can
actually.
you can feed to full. It just takes the entire herd.
Yeah.
Also
So
take a
we
little
just
bit
won't
from
be able
each,
to use the herd
obviously.
later.
Hopefully no one else.
The herd replenishes how often?
About once every week and a half to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I was gonna
So
say, no,
it's definitely
hopefully no
going
one
to
else
be-
needs to use the herd.
Nah, we are good. We are fine. I mean, Vorpal and well, the ghoul is different case, but Vorpal is not here, so we don't know how damaged Nicodemus is.
All right. Albina and Labiana. One of you roll a D100 as you travel to the Aventine Hill, heading for the Temple of Diana.
I think I'll let you do it, Albina.
Nice.
Nice.
Good
The
job.
way is clear. The sky is nice. You even have the wind at your back helping you along. The Temple of Diana, you can see, has taken some damage. There has been a riot here at the temple. There's some scorch marks. There's some chips out of the stone. And the woodwork has partially burnt. Alethea, as you come up on it, is busy replacing some of the damaged wood, and she's steadily working with some people to replace it with stone.
Albina is going to wait, not making any attempt to interrupt her.
Right. You guys wait for a bit until a natural stopping point, and you can eventually make your way over without a bad interruption.
She heads over to her, approaching her with her head lowered and respectfully.
As does Labiana.
All right. She says, "Well, what brings you to our humble temple, children of my sire?"
Hatshepsut has been kidnapped.
That is a terrible news.
Yes.
I have a way to locate her. But Dassi is believed to be wise to recruit aid, and I agree with him. The first person that I fought was you. And I come to offer you a major boon from the entire coterie.
Unfortunately, I cannot accept. My duty is here, and the temple needs my protection.
I understand your hands have been quite full with the mortal unrest lately. It is surprising that they dare to target even the temples.
Go for two. Go for two major boons. It's a haggling.
Would you be able to suggest anyone else that you know that might be willing to assist in this matter?
Well, you could approach Lysander, but I think he would count this as fulfilling all of his obligations to you, so you might want to save that for another time. Geez, most of her clients have either left Rome or died in Carthage. There are the gangrel who hang out in the Forum Bararium, may be willing to throw down with you for a sufficient boon. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't really get out and socialize too much these nights.
Understand. We know for a fact that she's located in um, the other side of the Tiber, the Trans-Tiber.
Well, there was that one pet of the snake.
Last year.
What's her name? Yeah, there you go. Thank you. I believe she spent quite a bit of time over there.
And I will approach her with this and make her the offer. Thank you. And if you require assistance in the maintenance of your temple, please, it will be a pleasure to help you preserve the legacy of Artemis.
I appreciate the offer, and you know that you and Nicodemus have always made it for the festivals and the observances, and it's much appreciated.
There's nothing else to be said. She's going to give her the part. She's going to give her fuck. That's the word.
You will give her the fuck?
No. give her the opposite of salutations, the opposite of greetings.
Issue goodbyes.
Yes, exactly. She's going to give her goodbyes. In the past, there's nothing else to be said.
All right. Yeah. Now where to?
What?
Is that where to now? Back to the coterie or somewhere else?
Well,
Go to Larcher, search for
maybe
Ahems.
we should go and say Ihamus, yeah.
All right. As you recall, Ihamus is actually within eyesight of the island in the Tiber River.
Okay.
So you guys are up here-ish when you speak to Alethea. You go down the river. You have to skirt around. The Circus Flaminius is up here. So you go down the river, and he's around here somewhere.
No,
Alright.
Funny enough, the Forum Bararium is about here. So that's where the gangrel have their animal feeding grounds.
Okay.
All right. Ihamas's place is actually in an extremely good condition. The area, the streets are still flooded. You are in ankle deep water, along with assorted less identifiable muck and debris. You make your way over to his building. Over the years, because it's been many years, he has actually moved his building back a little bit, and it is basically made out of stone now. Almost no wood involved in the construction. It still has some funny looking Egyptian symbols on it, but mostly that's worn away. This is a landmark now, just because it's been here for so long. But a lot of the Egyptian Setite stuff has been replaced by more Roman markings.
She makes her way inside.
All right. A single man is there with a candle lit. He is sitting patiently in the dim light. He jumps up and greets you politely. Welcome to the Bazaar of Ihamas. What can we do for you tonight?
I'm looking for Hermes and his protege, Latia.
May I give them your names?
Albina and Labiana.
Of course, of course. Here, make yourself comfortable. Can I fetch you some hot tea, water, wine?
That will not be required.
Okay.
No, thank you.
He disappears into the building. Comes back about 20 minutes later. Noble Ihamas has directed me to escort you to the sitting rooms. If you'll follow me. Takes you back in. The way is pretty familiar. The layout hasn't changed very much. Takes you to the sitting room. Leaves a candle burning. No couches. No. It's all the same decorations that you're familiar with. And a few minutes later, Ihamas and Larthia both come in. And they greet you nicely. Labiana, Albina, I'm very glad to see you and healthy and well. What brings you to us tonight?
I wish it was something pleasant. Alas, Hatshepsut has been kidnapped and is being held somewhere on the other side of the Tiber. I have arranged a way to locate her position. A tool that will, as you get closer, will give us signal. But the way how dangerous these streets are getting, I like to first call upon someone that could assist in this to ensure that we are able to perform the search without getting jumped.
Well, I think we can both help you out there, but there is, as much as she is a valued member of our worship, there is a matter of price.
Of course.
I believe a major boon from our entire coterie would
Satisfy?
I will agree to that.
that sounds good.
The pair of us will actually help you.
The what?
The pair.
Both of us.
Oh, the pair.
Both
Okay.
of them, yeah.
Um,
Oh,
as you well know,
we
I'm not a
appreciate
fighter,
that.
but I have other advantages.
You sell yourself too short, Hamus.
No. I am no warrior. Labiana, would you excuse us for a moment to speak with Albina privately?
Certainly. She'll obviously go to a different room. Like, perhaps back to where they were waiting before.
All right. As Albina is left alone, the two of them sit and they just ask her, how goes the progress on the repayment that we asked you?
I have managed to secure the seal of the Athamite, and I have managed to procure a forger for a letter. In short, I believe I am making good progress on this. My plan is to once I have the forged letter, to see about planting it somewhere that can be found.
Ah, I see. That's wonderful progress. Looking forward to reaping the rewards from your diligent efforts.
I assume that it was your idea to have him framed. Not
Well,
Lartris.
the Lord Set guides us in many ways. We all like to think that our moments of brilliance are merely, well, I say merely, that our moments of brilliance are when the words of our Dark Father are heard most clearly.
So this Athamite has angered not you, Alaria, but Set himself. Quite an achievement.
Oh, well. Yes, the reasons for it, I'm afraid will remain private, but he does stand in the way of our goals, and having him eliminated in this way will serve us all.
She nods, not particularly caring why they are doing it, but just asking out of curiosity. Is there anything else that you would like to ask?
When do we need to present ourselves? When and where?
When and where what? Present ourselves for what?
To rescue Hatshepsut.
Oh, as I said, she's on the other side of the Tiber. I plan to, once I have reconvened with the rest of my coterie and spoke to them of you accepting the offer that we have made, I plan to begin this as soon as possible. The kidnapper has sent us a letter with demands asking us to present a Malkavian in a spot in 2 nights. I'd like to see this resolved before those 2 nights are over. Before we're off hand is forced.
I see. So, I guess that's a rather obvious plan that they're doing. Kidnap a target of opportunity, then have those they care about spread havoc and fear amongst the city.
Yes.
A tried and true method, if a little unoriginal.
From what I understand, the one that is behind this is quite proficient. The servants that she has been using have been very resilient to disciplines. When I try to get them to share more than they should with me.
Then one would think that When the time comes to strike, you must strike from the shadows, strike quickly, and fade away.
Yes. Hopefully, finding Hatshepsut before we strike. For that to do steal them from the only true advantage, the only true card that they have over us.
I believe your reasoning is sound. Okay. I think that pretty much takes care of that scene. Moving on to Decius and Nicodemus. Nicodemus, I need you to roll a d20. And subtract the result from your maximum blood pool. So you want to roll low.
Okay, just a moment.
Yeah, don't go rolling what I did.
You nearly get a natural 20.
Indeed.
Oh, sure. I'll probably roll natural 20.
Yeah. It's like in a normal D&D game, you always get a natural 1, but once it is actually... Oh, shit.
Nice.
Wow, we've had the best roll yet.
Yeah. Good job.
All luck wasted.
Nah.
All right. The two of you are all set to go. Where are you headed?
I will trust Nicodemus knows the way to contact with Papa Roach, and we shall do so. It's, by the way, Nicodemus, I, and my 2 warrior ghouls. And I don't think Nicodemus will take anyone with him, so I think that's 4 of us.
Yeah.
Well, contacting the Nosferatu is not a simple matter of just showing up, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They're always busy, out gathering secrets and knowledge. So it's best to set stuff up as far in advance as possible. So the two of you head towards essentially a drop point where you leave a signal that you need to talk with the Nosferatu, and then you head down into the Great Drain, the Cloaca Maxima, and make your way through the stifling darkness and stench through the combined warrens underneath some of the aquifers, the aqueducts, I should say, not aquifers. And you sit and you wait. And you can hear the rats and the snakes and the millipedes and every other critter, crawly nastiness going around. You'd swear some of them brush up against you and they're the size of small dogs. Oh yes, the spiders. Always the spiders. And of course, being the time of flooding, you are in calf-deep water.
It's disgusting.
Yes,
But
it
then
is
again-
incredibly disgusting.
but then again, like, people shit together in public, so how disgusting is it really? That's the question.
It is a few hours before dawn, a couple hours. And you hear splashing and some sort of weird singing and a rustling, and the light of a single lamp begins to make its way. You see the flashings of reflections, and it comes in, and it's Papa Roach holding a lamp on a stick. And he's singing some weird drinking song about, getting a lady. Some sort of bawdy, ribald song. And he hangs the lamp up on a hook on the wall and turns around to you. Nicodemus, it's been a long time, years now. And this is Decius. Yes, Decius. Yes, I remember you. How's it been?
It is good to see you too, Papa Roach. I hope unlife's been good for you. It hasn't been too bad for myself.
Oh, well, all the construction going on. We got plenty of room to expand down here, and we got all the excitement going on. There's never a dull night. Never a dull night.
Oh, I hope the fledgling riots and the commotions are not giving you too much of a headache.
It's free blood supply mostly for us.
Oh, that's fair entirely. Um, Aside from wanting to reacquaint an old acquaintance, there's actually a business that I need handled. More important one, actually. You remember Hatshepsut?
Oh yeah. It's a pretty little Egyptian thing. Speaks Greek
Yeah,
passably well. Yeah, I remember her.
yeah, pretty little Egyptian thing. So we need we seek information of her whereabouts. You see, she's been missing for quite a while now, and as it turns out, she has been abducted. Now, we have some vague ideas of where she might be, but it's not fully confirmed. And seeing how delicate the matter is, we'd like your friends to, or yourself, to provide us with information. Should
Well,
you know?
I think we can offer a trade for a trade here. One of ours has gone missing too. Telecles, you remember Telecles?
Yeah, yeah. What about them? How
Yeah,
long has it been?
a couple of weeks now. Hasn't been seen in a couple of weeks.
Interesting. Have you been given any information, notes, messages?
No messages, no notes, no nothing. Just I was actually just returning from his crash pad down on the south end of the Appian Way, and he's not there. It looks like he hasn't been there for a bit. So his dogs are getting kind of lonely down there.
Yeah, I know how it is. So, do you suspect he's been abducted, or taken, or why not? He hasn't just fled.
Taken or killed, one of the two, and so that's the trade. We want to know information for information.
Listen, that certainly sounds like a fair offer. In our site, we have only 2 nights to do this. But after it is done, we will immediately search for your kin.
Well, I see then. Well, since you
So we
can't
are.
trade straight up, then let's strike a different bargain. There may come a time when I need you to tell me something really important, perhaps about your patron, maybe a childer, a client, and I expect a full and honest answer.
Uh,
It's
le-
fair.
le- 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 um, let's hold on, because if this is true, we may be facing the same problem. Your friend might have been abducted by the same party that has abducted Hatshepsut. And considering how much difficult it is to contact you, I expect the messages not being quite as easily transferred to you. So let's start with something simple. We have a location in which we suspect that Hatshepsut may be. If you provide us information about more detailed information surrounding this location and whether anything suspicious was going about, we can also extend our inquiries to the parties in there about Telecles. If we do not learn anything about your companion, uh, we can we can then strike another deal.
Oh, what location?
I think Albina told us approximate street or something like that.
Nope, she told you the region,
Uh,
which is literally across the river.
Okay. Um, it is across the river, but Albina explained that she has a certain item that will. Did Albina explain actually how the tool works? I assume she did.
You
The closer
know,
we get,
across the river is a pretty big place. You know, a lot of people,
yes.
a lot of buildings, a lot of tents. You know, I seem to recall you were over there the other night, taking care of a neonate of my clan, which incidentally, you know, thanks for not hurting him. So, yeah, it needs to be a little more defined than we need to know everything from across the river.
Yes, which I will explain right now. Albina has a certain item in her possession that will, as we get closer to our target, will, how to say it, show that we are getting closer. And we are going to use that item to find her. It's pretty much like the warm and cold game. If you know what it is. We simply hope that you stick with us as we go to that location, and once that thing starts spinning around, meaning that we are getting closer, we hope that using your specialties, you might hasten our process.
Well, can all of you, you know, walk quietly and, you know, not get distracted?
Well, I think that Nicodemus is quite good innately in stealth, as well as Albina. As far as I and Laviana are concerned, while we are not really proficient in stealth, we certainly can use the gifts of the blood to at least increase, or I should say, decrease the odds of performing miserably.
Okay, let me rephrase that. Are you going to, you know, catch the scent of a rabbit and go running off after it like an untrained dog? Or can you stick next to my side and, you know, pay attention and, you know, take direction?
The the latter. Hatshepsut's safety is at stake, and we have no intention of, as you put it, just run off rapidly.
Okay, so when are we doing this?
In 2 nights.
We have 2 nights. We want to do this as fast as possible. Right now, the rest of our coterie is recruiting more allies. Once we know that that is done, we will, if there's time, we will immediately execute our plan.
So tomorrow night then, because it's almost dawn, and you know we need to wrap this up so you can go home.
Yes, we can do it tomorrow night.
Okay. Tomorrow night, I'll go across the river. I'll meet you by the bridge, and then you all will stick next to me and not draw attention to yourselves.
Sounds good.
Yes.
By the way, before
Okay.
we go to the next, oh, sorry. Before we go to the next night, I also want to remind that the ghoul of Hatshepsut, they go to our Patreon. and they explain our plan as well. Of course, the ghouls might not be able to explain as good, but
Well, I'll let Govin have that conversation.
oh, that's nice. Okay.
Sorry. What conversation? As I noted, a little distracted right now, but
You're talking to Alexander, right?
So I guess you might have been doing something busy in the meanwhile. But so let me quickly make a summarize. We sent your ghoul to Alexander, and we are expecting your ghoul to explain Alexander our plan, which is capturing Hatshepsut. Your ghoul is going to explain what kind of tool Albina has and how Albina will use the tool to find Hatshepsut, and then your ghoul will ask for the patron's help. He will also tell that the next night we will be executing this plan, so we need immediate help from him.
Okay.
And then, yeah, that's it, pretty much.
Is my seneschal going to be allowed in?
Sure, why not?
So knowing that he's in the presence of Cainite and not he's not talking to another ghoul, he'll of course be very sort of deferential. Excuse me, I am here on behalf of my daughter and her companions.
About what?
Well, about the efforts to find my Domitor. I believe you had received word of what had happened, of her going missing.
Oh, yes, I was actually busy getting some help on that, anyways, so go on.
We've determined that she has been specifically kidnapped by another group of Cainites, and Mistress Albina has procured a means to try and hone down on the location that she's being kept at. We've the mistress's coterie is planning to, well, essentially go in on a mission to retrieve her tomorrow night, and humbly request your assistance.
What kind of assistance?
Okay, I didn't think actually that part.
Yeah,
do a quick brainstorm.
Alexander's fucking with him.
Oh, okay.
I dare not presume what methods you one has guessed.
Yes, well, I assume you don't want a whole army going with you. So I will loan you my shoulder.
This is greatly appreciated. I'm sure that my daughter's compatriots will appreciate it, and though it is perhaps stepping a bit above my place to say so, I also appreciate it.
Yes, well, go on about your business. I will have my child meet at your haven.
Very well. Good evening. Out of character, do you think that was the right level of
Yeah, that was good. Yep, that was
terrified
good.
deference?
Because especially considering he could have just killed you and nobody would have said anything. Yeah.
Okay, so we got our allies. Nice.
All right.
So he will relay the results to you.
We all meet back up and start formulating the plan.
Yeah. There's not really a lot of plan. There's only a meeting place and an allies.
You know,
Um,
exactly.
So for this occasion, I do believe Hatshepsut would come with her warrior ghoul and dog in this instance to join us. Or
Yeah,
maybe
the
not.
first
I'm not
child knows that he isn't going to be much use here, so he'll probably stay back.
right. I mean, remember, you have another ghoul other than the Sandasha. You have dog.
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah, I mean, remember, important thing is that we are going to sneak by Papa Roach, so we can't really take, non-stealthy ghouls with us, and they cannot blood buff as well.
All right.
They might actually fuck up.
We can always form a vanguard.
Yeah, we can do a vanguard kind of thing, so they might be a backup plan, a backup group we can call. I can summon them as an example if we need.
So, one night goes by. New night. Mark off blood point.
Yes.
I assume there's no room for hunting.
No, not tonight.
Preferably not. We have not so much time.
Nope.
This is fair.
No.
Clicky.
So you,
Clicky.
Gaius Fabricius, the child of Alexander, who was embraced in Carthage, meets up with you. He's wearing concealing clothes over top of his his leather armor, and a sword.
Oh, excuse
Yes,
me.
I will have the same thing.
You guys travel as a group to the bridge over the River Tiber, where you meet up with Papa Roach, Ihamus, and Alarthia.
That brings over the cup of what of the nail.
So now is your chance to blood buff, do disciplines, whatever you're gonna do. Except for shadow armor, you're gonna have to wait on that for a minute.
I don't have a lot of blood, so I will have to be careful, and I don't intend to fight either. So I'm just going to buff a little bit of my stamina to have a little bit more soak in case I get attacked.
If I may give some more, one last bit of spirit advice, if this fucks up, then Hat's going to be dead anyway, and it's going to go to waste. So, drawing on what's left of the stockpile may be wise.
The Typhon's Brew stockpile, you mean?
Yeah.
Wait, Typhon blood gives
So-
Typhon brew gives us blood point.
Ihamus basically tells all of you, I'm about to do what I can do, and then Larthia will help, and I will bid you goodbye for the night. He fades off into the darkness, and in about 20 minutes, great clouds of fog begin rolling through the streets. Thick, dense, soupy fog begins to creep.
He's been learning his lessons well.
Creeps across all the shanty shacks, up the walls, across the mud. It's very, very dense stuff. In the meantime, Papa Roach can pick 5 of you. So he's going to pick Nicodemus, Albina, Labiana, Decius, and the Ghoul. And he is going to give you Mask of 1,000 Faces. You blend in.
Okay.
That's what he does. You all blend in.
So, like using his role, so it's much more than we can master.
No, for some reason I thought you were going to say Cloak the Gathering.
Well,
Yeah, me too.
muddy. Wet, muddy, nasty stuff. This is Cloak the Gathering. He's just using, instead of using Obfuscate 2, he's using Obfuscate 3.
Yeah, you can choose with the Cloak of Gathering which specific power you want to use.
Typhon's brew. What does it do mechanically? We can drink it up so to get blood.
Basically, for vampires, every pint is worth a blood point.
Okay, I have no idea what pint is.
Can we just
1 liter.
A big glass.
It's a liter. It's a liter of cola.
Yeah.
I thought pint was like slightly above half a liter. But okay.
Yeah.
Close enough.
It's like
Okay. Can we drink enough to replenish our blood entirely? Is the stockpile such huge?
Probably not entirely because it does act as alcohol. So I presume it reaches a point where you will be utterly plastered if you keep drinking.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair.
So, Chris, considering I got the biggest hits, I just want this. Would I be okay considering my fortitude and my stamina to get like 4 blood points essentially?
She had 3 pints left.
Okay. Well, can I use it, guys? Because I lost like 10 blood point.
Sure,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I'm going to blood with my dexterity and my stamina by 3 each.
All right.
alright.
You ready yourselves. Prepare any disciplines. Except for shadow armor, because that would definitely interfere with Mask of 1,000 Faces.
5,
Well, I'm definitely buffing Dex by 2.
1.
Well, actually not there. In here.
So he almost just brought the fog and then disappeared, right?
Yeah, he brought the fog and fucked off.
Okay. And then the gangrel will be more physical, like in combat, kind of.
Presumably.
I assume. Presumably, okay. Or at least he will probably pull like drop from sky then get the fuck out as well.
So 2 more blood points for that.
Oh man, I'm getting excited. Oh, I'm scared. I really want to die out as well.
don't think I need to activate anything else at this point.
Hey, yo,
We're
Lesbiana.
not
Remember
exactly
your
going into
necromancer
combat. Yeah, but which ones?
The one which increases like difficulty of every fucking shit for 1 target. The
I
devastating
mean,
one.
intimations of mortality?
I have no idea, but yes. That's a good
Yeah, well,
one. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, she doesn't need to use any of them just yet. There's one she would normally activate, but that's only if she's going into combat. Or if she feels like she's about to go into combat.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think if you use it on, I mean, I think you will have to use it on combat because it's on a target, so preferably.
Oh, that
to
one
be better.
That one
Yeah.
she will, yeah. But there's one in particular she casts on herself before going into combat. But she won't need it just yet.
Okay.
It's rituals.
Yeah, we are dealing with a Bruja. I mean, we don't know it, but we are dealing with a Bruja, so... And I can tell you that Agatha was somewhat decent in combat between the celerity, so she can be really devastating. Yeah. I kinda regret how I built her right now.
Oof.
And then there's also Prisons 5 as well, which I'm
A bit
expecting
OP.
Chris to use, take the full advantage of.
Bugger you, Agatha!
Alright, it's like Celerity 3, Presence 3, Potence 3, and then she uses like a fucking War X or whatever, which has like Strength plus 4 damage. And I hope it's not aggravated at least. And then there's a chance that she might have got an exotic discipline, considering
Well,
the way.
no use worrying about it now because.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, I think,
Go ahead.
depending on what's going to happen, she might go ahead and activate Alga Mortis anyway, because I've literally just read that it does add additional die to anything that involves resisting emotional manipulation.
All right, you begin making your way through the foggy streets. It's so thick, so dense, that you have to keep within arm's reach of each other to avoid getting separated and lost. The streets clear quickly. There are still people, homeless, people sleeping under tents. But in the thick fog, all you can barely make out is a shape. You can't even make out a sex or a face or nothing. Just a shape. There's a person there. One of you holding a lamp to provide the guiding light and allow Albina to read the mystic compass. Begin to navigate your way through the maze of shacks and somewhat sturdier buildings of the Trastevere. You swiftly leave the Jewish ghetto. You make your way out into the more the newish settlements. Even though this set buildup is not, it's not new. It's been here for many, many years. It's so cheap and so thrown together. Stuff is constantly changing. There's no streets or addresses or landmarks here. You just have to know where you're at. So you very swiftly get lost in this maze as you track back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Eventually, the needle begins to spin so quickly in the cup that it begins to form a small whirlpool. You are standing outside of a building that appears to be decently well built. It's tucked up against a small hill. There are, of course, many tents around it. The building itself is maybe 2 stories, a top floor, the ground floor, and there are some shutters, but they appear to be somewhat poorly made. And the shutters are drawn and the door is shut. There are no lights inside of the house.
Okay, so this is our building. Is it possible for Papa Roach to find a way to sneak us inside, maybe? That's, I wonder.
He disappears, does some quick scouting, comes back, and he says, okay, I've got you here without any fuss. The building itself, you're basically going to have to break in somehow. There's no open doors or nothing, and it's built directly into the hill.
Let's see. I assume Papa Roach will leave us now.
I don't suppose there are any. Is it known whether there are some passages into the mountain from buildings like these?
Quite often, these buildings have a cellar dug out, or they will dig a little into the hill itself to give them some extra room.
Are they connected to the drain?
No.
Yeah. I think, are there like windows?
There are windows,
Yeah,
but the boards are drawn across the windows,
Alright.
so you can't just climb in.
Yeah, I assume. I think there's not really a rear entrance, Papa Roach said it, so we will have to break in. We might go from the front door. I assume, considering that Albina can turn to shadow, maybe she can, like, while we take the front door, Albina can take the, like, one of those high height windows and use her shadow form to, like, sneak in. So, like, you know, do a ambush attack while we take the front. Albina can possibly do something like that.
Can Nicodemus climb to the shutters of the second floor?
Yeah, it's not super smooth. You can find little handholds and stuff and climb up.
Okay. What about the observers? Was there at any point a feeling of being watched?
Yeah, constantly. But most people are just watched because you were passing by. With the incredibly thick fog, you feel pretty confident that unless there's somebody watching and alert inside the building, you will not be spotted.
Okay, so my plan here is, guys, let me quickly describe it to you, is you all enter the building. I think that this use will be outside and he will use summon on his ghoul, which I assume that his ghoul will be with the other ghouls somewhere away from this, but close enough that they can run and join us in few minutes. And he will summon the ghouls, and possibly we will discuss this with the ghouls. Once I summon my ghoul, he will be near, right, like in arm reach to other ghouls, and he will essentially tell them, okay, now we go to this use, and then they will join us as well. So this is my plan. While you enter, then I will enter as well. But before that, I will stay outside just to not get, mind fucked when I enter. Also, before we enter, Albina probably should use her shadow armor. So take your little bit of your time and use the shadow armor, I say.
Would the shadow armor stay if I had to go into shadow form and slither into the building? Or would I need to cast it again once I reform inside of the building?
You'll need to cast it again.
So yeah, better not do that yet.
Okay, fair. So yeah, that's my plan. So as you break in, I will summon. Actually, I will start summoning because it will take some time for them to arrive. So I will start summoning my ghoul, so that they know that they now need to get here as quick as possible.
Okay.
Do you want me to roll, or are we going to say, okay, it's success?
No, you summon them.
Okay, yeah. So it's probably going to take 2 minutes or something, assuming they run.
Alright, yeah, your ghouls are there. Done. It takes them more than 2 minutes. It takes them about 20, because it's a fucking maze. And all it gives them is straight line direction to get to you.
Yeah, fair. So, okay. So let's go in, guys. This is it. There's no return from here.
Gonna climb.
Nah, they don't give a shit about climbing. Let's take the front door. This
Are
is
you
not
sure
time
about
for
that?
straight ahead, not, let's sneak around. That's too late now. It's also took 20 minutes. They might already know that we are here. So yeah, probably one of you should go and break the front door or something. Albina is pretty strong. So before she turns into shadow form, maybe she can break the door and then turn into shadow reflexively. Go up.
I mean, I think breaking the door put us in a bad position. It would alert that we are here, and they would have time to get a Hatshepsut and try to use her as a bargaining chip.
Okay, fair. Can you use shadow form, get in, and see if there is anyone looking for the door? If there is no one looking for the door, to lift out the barricade and maybe stealthily let us in. Let's see if you can do that.
Yeah, give that a try. Scout inside in shadow form.
Okay.
Yeah, stay towards the roofs near the shadows to look as stealthy as possible.
You go in the ground floor or the top floor?
She's going to go to the ground floor.
Alright. Well, they can't stop you from going inside. So you go inside.
Does she need to roll stealth?
There is somebody on the ground floor who has been tasked with watching the door and the windows looking for really odd shapes. And Albina, what you find as you go through shadow form and in this two-dimensional shadow projection thingamabobber that you have become, you find that the windows are in fact a facade, and behind the shutters are thick, very thick wool dark curtains that have been basically glued to the windows to block out the light. It's not airtight, so you slip through them, but as you do, you realize there is a great deal of light inside of here, and there is somebody holding a torch, and they have had to be watching with eagle eyes. So roll your, I think it's only fair to let you roll dexterity and stealth. They have 4 successes. You have to beat 4. I'm going to give you 3 extra dice for stealth, because they have explicitly been dominated to be on the lookout for this.
Nice.
Job.
Outstanding. So you slip in, make your way to a upper ceiling corner, and you see on the ground floor 2 crossbowmen, a sword, a pair of swordsmen, and a person armed with a flaming torch.
I see. And she's going to. And is she past them at this point, or she?
You are not.
Like
You have made your way. You're about right here-ish.
Okay, so she's still in the window, pretty much.
Yeah, but you are inside the building.
Will she be able to slip out without being spotted? Or that put her again in the risk of being spotted?
You could probably slip back out. No problem.
Yeah, she's going to do that. Slip back out.
Okay, yeah, you slip back out.
Once outside, she's going to form. She's going to coalesce around the foot of her companions, and she's going to form.
There was
the
also
number-
a entrance to a cellar down there as well. So there is a cellar.
She's going to form the number. She's going to form the number of 4. 4 guards.
5.
5. Yes, I can. The cellar. There is no. Is there any like ground window?
No.
Like those,
No, it's completely buried under the dirt.
Okay. She's going to then slip up to the top floor.
Okay. Once more, dexterity and stealth, please. You only need to beat 2 successes this time. A tie.
Is
All right.
tie or the-
You would you like high or low?
I'm going to take high. Fuck.
All right. You slip in the top floor, and there is a man with a. And again, there's a fireplace along the back wall here, and a man is sitting there. He's got a torch, in the fire, burning. And as soon as he sees the shadows get weird and start to move, he grabs his torch and he runs over, and he's like, he starts shouting, "Alarm! Alarm!" And he brushes the torch against the wall where he thinks you're at, because it's quite confusing. He doesn't know exactly where you are. It's hard to get a bead on you. So give me a Dex and Athletics plus 3 extra dice for you against his Dex and Melee. Alright, you successfully avoid the sweeping torch, but I do need you to roll courage. Your difficulty is going to be 6.
Can I ask something?
Sure.
Can Albina quickly use her shadows to try to suffocate the guy? Is that possible?
Maybe. Alright, you successfully dodge the flaming torch. You draw yourself up to a different crevice and begin to flit away across the cracks as he sweeps the area, and you get behind him as he begins to walk along the wall, trying to figure out what he just saw.
I'm going to... He seems to be lost. He seems to not be quite sure of where I went. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. How are the other people in the room reacting to his shout of alarm?
They are looking, but they're not firing anything. They have loaded crossbows and knives, but they're not firing off because they can't see you.
Okay. She's then going to continue try to slit her way past them towards the door.
Alright, so towards the steps here in the back, or back towards
Yes,
the windows?
Alright. To the steps.
Alright. Dex stealth.
This is like Harry Potter thing, shadow thing, you know.
Alright. You slip to the steps. You go down the steps to the ground floor. The man down there is waiting on you. He's heard the alarms, the shouting. Dex stealth again. I assume you're going into the cellar.
Yes.
Alright. Wow, what a roll.
It's just keep getting better, but let's not jinx him.
Alright, you easily slip past. He has... in fact, you have so many successes, he's like, "Shut your yap up there! There's nothing down here!" And you flitter into the cellar. The cellar is completely dark. There is nobody down here.
Watch your dark side.
Alright. So,
Yes.
the steps to the cellar are... draw shape. Come down about right there.
Okay, this other block behind is this an extension of the cellar, or
Yes,
is this a
it is
block
It is an extension. It's been dug into the raw dirt. It's got timbers holding it up. And there's you have dark sight, so you can see inside this no problem. It has several boxes. Timbered boxes. About the size and shape of coffins. Shoved up in there.
Does any of them seems to have been the most recently moved? And then there seems to be a more accessible than the others?
There's probably 5 of them in here. And it looks like all 3 have been pulled out of the dirt several times. You can see drag marks and little furrows where the coffins have been dragged out.
Will she be able to try to slit into one of them?
Sure. Once again, not airtight. There's little tiny micro cracks and stuff inside these things. You slip into one. It's a random body with a stake in it.
Interesting. It's someone that we do not know.
Correct. In fact, you know
She's
what?
going-
Give me 1 to 3. 1, 2, or 3.
3.
All right. Yep, the random body.
She's going to go check on the next one.
Okay. Congratulations, you found Hatshepsut, who is staked.
Out of curiosity, she's going to fight back the instinct to reform into her human form and then stake at Hatshepsut, and she's going to go check on the third coffin.
It is another random neonate.
Check if the Nosferatu is there as well.
I was gonna say, so neither of those is the Nosferatu?
I'll save you some time. None of them are the Nosferatu.
Oh, okay. So that's a
She's
different
going to leave the coffins and she's going to go into human form.
You can readily do that.
She's going to drop a nocturne to muffle the sound as she unboxes the coffins.
Okay, so you drag the first 3 out, pop the lids off, pop, pop, pop. You have 3 staked vampires sitting in front of you.
She's going to drop some blood onto Hatshepsut's mouth to feed her. Make sure that she's not going to be hunger frenzying when she awakes.
Well,
How much?
I'm going to say that she's going to drop 3 points of blood.
Remember that when you take out a steak, it's not. I mean, even if there is no hunger frenzy, there is still, like aggressiveness frenzy or something like that. So be careful about that.
And then she's going to proceed to pop out this take.
All right. Hatshepsut erupts in frenzy.
Probably the one saving grace here is that she's been locked in there for so long that she probably isn't entirely sure what she's doing anymore. So she probably will stumble a bit in frenzy.
She is considerably weaker and slower than you are. There is that to say. She has very little blood for blood buff. But she's in frenzy, and you're in front of her. You just pulled the stake out. That makes you a target.
Yeah, also have the nocturne dropped.
Yeah, but you still got to be right there to pull the stake out. And she has dark sight. Which doesn't allow her to see through Nocturne, but it does lower the penalties. Yeah, so Hatshepsut, Albina has an initiative on you. Albina, what's your combat action?
She's going to try to hold her down. Try to hold her quiet.
Okay, give me a strength brawl grapple roll. All right, Hatshepsut with the appropriate nocturne penalties.
I don't think I can beat that roll.
Well, you get a reflexive strength roll to break it, and you make your strength and potence roll, and then roll your total willpower pool at difficulty 8.
That is true. So let's roll strength first. You ready for this? You ready?
One dice.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh,
Actually,
why did it add 2? Why did it
doesn't
add?
matter.
Did you forgot? Did you had a blood buff from previous scene?
That's probably it. Yep. I've got to remove my fucking blood buff, but doesn't matter because 0 successes either way.
Actually, you do need to reroll that because one of those was a 1. If they were both failure, I'd say, yeah, sure, whatever.
Well, Okay, so then.
All right. Now roll total willpower at diff 8.
Oof, there's like you have like 6 willpower, so you might actually. No, you did not.
All right. Albina grabs hold of this snarling, snapping, growling skin of the addered. Let's not forget, because that didn't go away.
Oh shit, hasn't it?
Nope.
Fuck.
Hatshepsut, she's going to get one more chance to get out of this using Skin of the Adder, because she is in frenzy. So Albina, give me another strength, potence, and brawl roll to keep holding her. Hatshepsut, using Skin of the Adder, make your roll to get the hell out of there.
Same roll of strength.
No, this should be a... What does Skin of the Adder do for you? It lets you slip from a grasp, right?
Yeah, technically it's meant to be auto succeeding, but
Yeah, it's reflexive.
if nothing else from I feel like there should be a slight penalty.
Yeah. Maybe because she's in a coffin, it's not really reflexive. I don't know. You can decide it.
Let's do a Dex Brawl +3.
For both of us, or
For
just
her,
for
for her,
Hatshepsut?
for Hatshepsut.
Oof, it's a tie. Is it attacker?
Hatshepsut, would you like high or low?
Low, please.
Hatshepsut escapes.
Ah, shit.
In her animal frenzy, she bucks, writhes, twists. It's like riding a bucking freaking bull, and eventually slips out from underneath of Albina. However, in the dark, and in the massive get the hell off of me struggle, Hatshepsut, you end up on another staked vampire. You feel a body underneath you. You're hungry as fuck.
Ah, shit.
You sink your fangs in,
Oh, boy.
begin to drink, and now you get a roll for Diablerie.
Oh, boy.
What is this? Is this your fourth? Fifth?
Oh god, am I... Oh god. So as in, like, I have to roll to not do it, or...
No, you're going to do it. We're going to roll to see if it's successful. Roll your permanent willpower, diff 6.
Nice. So do you resist?
Yes, it's an auto resist. Nope. Hell of a roll, but didn't quite pull it off. Hatshepsut, you have successfully diablerized a Bruja.
Oof.
Nice.
Your generation does not go down. But, and in fact, you really gain no benefits at all except the absolute euphoria of sucking down a soul. Knocks you out of the frenzy.
How much blood did they have in them, out of curiosity?
Let's say 5. This is an absolute, an indescribable euphoria of celebration, of triumph, conquering. That such a addicting feeling is even possible should be against what Lilith does. This is the opposite of pain. This is temptation.
Oh, you know, pain can't be seen without pleasure.
What is
this
your
certainly
road
a look.
score?
3.
Okay.
Well, this is certainly a look that Labiena will recognise when she sees Hatshepsut next.
Oh,
And,
yes, you will.
Even if there isn't a moral objection, there is probably going to be like a point as she's coming down from the high of like, wait a minute.
You
What?
you do not have to
what did I
roll
just do?
any kind of sin or anything. However, all of the struggle that you have undergone for several weeks of being ignored, they pull you from the box just long enough to pump you full of rancid pig blood and shove you back in the box. The pain, the mental anguish that comes with that kind of literal torture. It's literally torture what they were doing to you. You in the euphoria, it washes all of that hard-earned knowledge away from you, and completely wipes any lessons that you had learned from this out of your mind. And in fact, you would volunteer to do this again.
Whew.
All right, so
Yeah,
the two of you are nobody is any longer in frenzy, and there's two of you in the cellar.
I'm not going to calmly approach Hatshepsut, still a bit carefully approach Hatshepsut, still a bit on edge after her attempt at her frenzy. She's going to kneel by her side. Are you feeling better now?
Yes and no. I think I'm still seeing a few things I shouldn't be, but that will probably fade in time. This might be a problem later, though.
What do you mean?
She just points to the fact that she just diablerized someone without, authorization.
Yes, and?
Well, I suppose we'll get to that when we come to it, but
No one needs to know about this.
hopefully not.
It is unfortunate casualty of that caused by your captors. As far as I am concerned, you did nothing, and I'm the only one that saw this.
Alright, well, what's the plan from here?
Are you able to use summons?
No, I'm afraid I haven't developed my presence to that degree yet.
There are a few guards on the level above. One of them has a torch. There is a couple more. There's a few more in the second story, the third level, with fireplace and torches.
That is going to be a problem. My gifts don't protect me from fire.
The coterie is outside, waiting for me to return with the reports of my search of the house. If we can get the signal, they'll be able to storm the house and help us.
That seems fair. Though, this does give me another idea.
What is on your mind?
Perhaps they might be. It might interest everyone to have a few surprise visitors.
Ooh.
I do not understand.
Animalism.
I was
Oh.
going to say, which animals are you going to summon?
Yeah, I mean, what animals are we going to summon in the cellar?
Well, the thing is, it goes out for a fair distance. I'm fairly sure. So it'd be like, sort of around the district that we're in. I'm just thinking, and they'll be rushing to me, so they'll be like. That is also an idea, actually. That is also an idea. Okay, so you give a report to the rest. We're going to throughout this last one. Oh yeah, actually, that is fair. In fact, no. Yeah, you give a report to the rest of them. I'm going to see if I can call any out. See if I can call some owls over to provide distraction and alert, for lack of a better term, as well as to keep an eye on the other prisoner.
We are on the ground, and I would have a hard time coming here.
Oh, they don't need to get all the way. They just need to get as far as. They just need to get as far as the building.
There is a heavy fog all over the district, courtesy of a hams.
Here's a question: does fog interfere with animalism calls?
No, it does. No. It no.
Well, if the owls don't work, then I can try rats. How about that?
Very well.
Okay. So, shall I make my charisma survival roll?
Go right on ahead.
Ah,
Holy shit.
Well, there you go. Unfortunately, to do this, you actually have to let out a physical call, even though it mystically is amplified to the animal population. So now they know there's somebody in the cellar who's up and about.
It's fine.
oh boy.
It's fine. I can just, like, find a place to hide. And if anything, that will just add to the chaos. Especially since this is...
There's 10 total. Oh, 3 kindred, yeah. 2 now. I believe the other one's still staked.
3 of them are
Yes.
still staked.
3. I thought one was diablerized.
Yes, there were 5 bodies, Hatshepsut and 4 others.
Ah, okay.
Oh, there are 5. I thought there were only 3. Okay, then the idea of actually just tossing one of them and staking to the first floor doors actually sounds more doable.
Alright, do that then, and lock the door behind us.
We
Or-
also,
Yep.
Unfortunately, there's
I
no
think-
door, but yeah.
Well, yeah.
I think if you do that, we also would hurt the frenzied kindred in the first floor. Actually,
Yeah, who cares?
Exactly.
I've just diablerized someone. I'm not in a position to be squeamish about casualties right now.
Yeah. Listen, we survive from this, and if we save some of those kindreds, well, that's a plus. Think about it like that. It's not a priority; it's just an extra bonus of well-made success.
Okay. So you're going to grab one, drag it up the steps. Hatshepsut, I assume you're using the silence of obfuscate to help muffle this?
I don't have obfuscate.
Oh, that sucks.
There's only Nicodemus, I believe, who has this.
The only
Yeah.
thing that I can really the nocturne muffle sound, but I do not believe it to be able to muffle dragging a body upstairs.
Well,
I
they
guess
do not. They don't
certain
appear to
level-
react. You drag the body, thump, 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 up the steps, under the cover of nocturne, and nobody comes to investigate. So you're at the point where if you climb any taller, any higher, you're going to be exposed to anyone looking at the steps. So now's the time. What are you doing?
And stake and pushing up the stairs.
All right. You give a mighty heave, shove the body up, rip the stake off, and shove the body onto the floor. It rolls a couple of times and erupts in a murderous, hungry rage and begins to go after the 5 of them. The guy with the torch immediately sticks it in the vampire's face, begins waving it, and the frenzied vampire backs away. So they are trying to like corner it.
Do we hear this?
I don't know. Give me a perception and alertness roll.
Okay,
Hearing
let's
based.
do it, guys.
Hearing based. The fog is going to interfere, and the walls. So we're going to call this difficulty diff 9.
Diff 9. Okay,
Yeah.
you guys do it. I passed.
And out of curiosity,
The
were
roll doing this?
were any owls able to hear my call?
Oh, I thought you had canceled that.
Oh, right, because of the okay, I have. So
So it was
actually, you know what? Now that we've already kind of started the chaos, now might be an okay time to do it.
All right, so here's the deal. Albina and Hatshepsut, what do you do while they're distracted?
While they are distracted, Alvin is going to try to. She's going to try to summon some nightshades,
Okay.
make the illusion of the bodies downstairs of other vampires running from downstairs and upstairs to distract them from the real threat, from the frenzied vampire.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Labiana, you hear screams, hollers, holy shit! Oh my god! Oh my god! How'd this thing get free? Cries of anger, anguish, as Albina begins to fill the hall with nightshade illusions. Just need you to spend your blood and make your roll for that. And then a few moments later, the front door explodes off the hinges as the frenzied vampire scurries past its ring of attackers, and just decides to get the fuck out of Dodge, slams through the door, and runs off into the night.
Oh boy.
Are we exposed to them?
The vampire runs away.
Okay, but like
It runs
if
away.
He opens the door. Right, I understand.
Incredibly thick fog.
I understand, but as the door opens, do they see us?
It's incredibly thick
The
fog.
other guys,
Okay, they don't. Okay.
so they can't see us.
I think this is time for us to strike because this was a good distraction. Let's push in, guys, with the ghouls and all the shit and join the fright. I will say that my baby Titus, I think he was the archer. Let me check. Yeah, Titus will probably knock an arrow and let it loose to the first target he sees
Okay.
in this room.
Dex archery.
Yeah. Coming. I'm gonna do it manually.
All right. In
And
the
then
meantime,
he has a quick shot specialty.
Albina has summoned several illusions, and they are running around the ground floor, and the guys are like, What the fuck, man? What the hell's going on? And they're like slashing at the shadows, at which, they separate and they form little trailing shadows of damage, and they snap back together and continue to torment these men on the ground floor. And you're like, what the fuck? They're screaming, yelling. For those of you outside, you see the curtains go down, the windows open, and the archers on the top floor look out and draw a bead on you.
At this point, would you say that there's enough chaos going on that I could get away with an animalism?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna roll. As much as it pains me to leave that glorious roll up there.
This is outside, right? This area.
Okay. Half of all the animals is half of all the owls in the what you'd figure is a reasonable vicinity are going to come rushing over.
About 10, 15.
That's still, a sizable amount of owl.
Yeah.
By the way, Lucius has a shield and Gladius, just to be clear.
I think that's everybody, right? On the outside?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there time to buff more stats prior?
No.
Who's girlfriend? No, I'm kidding.
It's just Labiana was only buffing stats she only thought she would need.
All right. Gaius Fabricius, the first archer leans out, lets a crossbow arrow fly, slams into him. He uses his fortitude to soak that, and he just grabs the arrow and he rips it out like mother. Ugh, throws it on the bolt, I should say, not the arrow. Hatshepsut, your dog's getting attacked.
Mm-hmm.
With 3 successes.
Yeah, it's going to attempt to dodge that.
Right? After it dodges, it runs into the house.
Yep. Base diff of 6.
Yeah. And Decius, you're getting attacked twice.
Yes.
What the fuck? Okay, I don't dodge.
It's not a botch.
It's
only
not a botch.
It's not a botch.
Barely.
It's a fail.
Unfortunately, it
That's
only
a bit-
grazes the dog. It only grazes it.
I'll just roll my soap.
Nice. All right.
Wow.
All right. Decius, you're getting attacked twice. You get hit twice.
Okay. How many health levels does the dog have, out of curiosity?
It literally didn't do any damage to the dog.
Oh, okay. I thought it did like 1 damage. Never mind.
1,
must
3,
have-
4, 4, 4, 7.
Oh, yeah, I missed that one. My bad.
All right, Decius, you can dodge or you can take it. What are you doing?
Which attack?
The first arrow attack. What are you doing? Dodge or take it?
First one, yeah, I'm gonna take it. I have good soak.
All right, second, dodge or take it.
Yeah, I'm going to take it as well.
All right. These have armor penetration, by the way. What's your armor?
My armor rating is 2.
All right, so you have no armor to soak this.
Okay.
And it just goes doink, and it just vibrates in your armor. This one, though, you got to soak 2. All right.
Okay.
People have shot their wad. They're reloading crossbows. The people on the ground floor are in a fucking panic. The dog ran inside. Hatshepsut's inside. She's calling owls. Albina is summoning illusory shadows. What are you guys, the rest of you doing?
My Titus will. Sorry, Lucius, not Titus. My mistake. Lucius will rush as fast as possible, then hit this guy with his gladius.
All right.
Um,
So
He's got an arrow sticking out of him. And as your man rushes in with a sword and shield, he takes aim for a point blank shot and attempts to shoot him.
he has a shield, by the way. So
I understand that.
but-
He's taking aim with a point blank shot and attempts to shoot him. with 2
I
successes.
think if,
And you're already attacking him, so it hits your guy right in the fucking head.
okay. Let's see the damage.
So 4, 5, 6,
Wait, how does he get 2 success?
a 10, an 8, an 8, and a 10.
But the shield increases by 2, and then it's a targeted attack, and that increases difficulty by 2 as well.
But he's going for the head, which is already above the shield.
Right, but I mean, he can.
He's going for the head, which is already above shield level. If his head ain't above shield level, you can't see over your shield.
Basically, he's bypassing the shield for this.
Yeah,
but,
sure. Okay, fine, fair.
Soak 2.
Okay. He's a ghoul, so he can soak lethal.
Yes. All right. We're going to cut the combat a little short. I just want you guys to tell me how you take these people out, because they can drag it out, they can inflict some damage, they cannot defeat you.
I'm just gonna note that actually, he probably wouldn't have been able to get away with. Would he have been able to get away with sneaking a crossbow through for this? Probably not.
No.
Okay, well, let's see.
All right.
He'll probably.
Go ahead.
Basically, unless the walls are too high, my human ghoul will have first attempted to try and see if he can try and take a couple down with thrown weapons. Kind of like.
Well, he's an archer. So he launches his bolt into the upper floors and then runs inside, or he stays outside and tries to reload. Your choice.
He's probably gonna first shot.
All right. What's Labiena doing?
Well, I was about to say Labiena's first instinct will be to pull out her bow and arrow.
Okay. Did Discord freeze up? I think Discord just froze up.
Floor, try and take them out.
All right, yeah, Discord froze up for a second. What were you saying? You pulled out your bow and arrow, and then what?
And try and get a line of sight on the guys on the top floor and try and take them out.
All right, yeah, so you begin launching arrows into the top floor as well. What's Nicodemus doing?
Is it possible to veer off to the side, take a running jump, and climb to the second floor to get the archers?
Not quite so easily, but if you boost your strength to 6, you could probably do it.
I see. Not gonna do it then. Gonna follow in the storm squad then.
All right.
The
Decius.
priority to-
Decius will enter and activate Majesty. And he will say, "Surrender now."
They want to, they can't.
They can't?
They
Okay.
can't.
But do they attack me still?
No, they physically throw themselves at everybody else.
Okay.
Decius walks through the carnage, completely untouched. Just all the fighting around him, and none of it touches him.
And my other ghoul will... Chris, I forgot to roll the sword attack for Lucius. Can I do that?
No,
Okay.
I don't want you to roll anything. I want you to describe how you murder these people.
Oh, okay. Well, Lucius will rush to this guy, take an arrow to this temple, scrape a little bit, and then he will just cut him down with his gladius.
Okay, that's fine. All right, so you guys are launching arrows into the upper floor as fast as you can knock, draw, and release. Knock, draw, release. Knock, draw, release. Arrow, arrow, arrow. The crossbowman crank, picks it up, and you hear the powerful kathoom as these bolts go flying in. Men are pulling out melee weapons. This guy on the ground floor is waving a torch in the air. He's probably the only real threat to you guys at the moment. Who takes him on?
I will dominate him to throw the torch if that's possible.
Go for
that's
it.
not going to break Majesty, right?
Nope. Give me a dominate roll.
Okay. Okay,
what
I
was
think
it
it was manipulation, intimidation.
Here, important thing. Are you specifying where he should throw the torch?
That's my
just,
thought. You've got to be careful.
Throw
How you go about
the
this.
torch in the cellar.
Is there
Is
is
this-
there like a barrel of water nearby?
No. There's a fireplace, though.
Damn.
I will order him to throw the torch in the cellar. Essentially, throw it inside the cellar.
Awesome.
cellar.
I love it.
I imagine the cellar is made of wood.
Is it?
There is wood down there.
Yeah,
Oh,
and you just
did-
told him to throw a
did?
lit torch onto wooden steps. And so, yeah, give me a
Let
dominate
me
roll.
roll first.
No, I like this
Yeah.
idea.
That'll-
Give me a dominate roll.
I'm trying to find
That'll
the
set
dice
the
roll.
house on fire.
I did not know there was woods in there.
I'm just,
I mean, I
I'm just
explicitly
saying
said-
right now, I don't want to roll courage.
I explicitly said, there's a fireplace, expecting you to say, throw the torch into the fireplace.
I mean,
But
I
yeah,
thought
no,
that he
throw the
would
torch
use
into the
the-
cellar is a great idea. Because that's 3 life boons. Or sorry, 2 life boons, which...
again, I
yeah.
didn't know that there was woods in the cellar.
Well, I mean, there's steps.
Yeah, I know there's steps, but
Yeah.
like,
All right,
Sure.
give me a dominate roll, my man.
yeah, I'm checking the rule. Jeez. It's- Okay, it's manipulation leadership.
All right, you throw the torch into the cellar. He turns around and whips this thing sideways. Ka-chuck! Right into the cellar.
Okay.
All right. You are raining carnage on the people on the ground floor. It only takes you a few more moments. 15, 20, 30 more seconds to go through and slaughter this. Who here is hungry at all?
Nicodemus is definitely.
Technically, I've been staying down below for most of this, but is the sun going to be coming through?
If you're hungry... Oh, so you're down below in the cellar?
Actually, no, I probably would have come up.
Yeah,
after a
I
short
thought
bit.
so. I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's blood
We would hope so
everywhere.
anyway. at
Yes,
this point.
we went through all this trouble to rescue Hatshepsut and then trapped her in a burning cellar.
Exactly. Like what?
Hungry. And hungry is half blood, right?
Yeah, if you're at half or less, need you to roll
Yeah.
Ah,
self-control, or actually, if you have instinct, you don't get a roll. You frenzy,
ooh.
and you fall upon the puddles of blood, and you gorge yourself.
Mhm.
And it is horrifying to watch. If you don't frenzy, you see these people, these companions that you have known for hundreds of years now, literally 100 years now, or more, fall to their hands and knees. They stick their face in the puddles of blood, slurping anything they can get their fingers on, sucking it off of their fingers, licking it off the blades, driving their fangs into the last bits of arteries, what might be in the arteries and hearts of the people, sucking out the last few drops here and there, anything they can do, licking the floors as clean as they possibly can to get every single last succulent drop into their bodies.
Oof.
But you do eventually pop up out of frenzy Oh my god, that was awesome. I feel so full. Oh Jesus, that was great. What a meal.
So yeah, should I put my blood pool at full now?
Yes. But you still got a top floor to deal with.
Yep. I should probably be hanging in the back because I do still have torches.
Well, guys, I have to wrap this up. So, I will just say that when you get up to the ground floor, several of the bodies are riddled with arrows, and you are easily able to take out the last couple of guys. So, you have successfully rescued your companion. Unfortunately, by the time you do that, the house is on fire, and you all have to get out.
We are running for the hills,
Yep.
literally.
While technically you didn't murder any of the people in the basement, you did set them free from a life of what would probably be slavery. So, hey, good job there.
It's true.
Everybody gets 2 experience points for tonight. And, yep,
Nice.
we will have our next game in 2 weeks, which will be the first weekend of April.
Beautiful.
All right, I have a phone call I have to go make, so I will see you guys all next time.
Bye.
Good night.
Right.
Rose.
Thanks for listening. The group got Hatshepsut back. I know they're very appreciative of that. She's got a little extra bruja in her for the rest of her own life. So we'll see where that goes. All right, guys. Once again, appreciate you listening. Have a great weekend.